featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. It's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from Trucksmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since Trucksmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. Trucksmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes, yes, yes. We are halfway through the week, and we're feeling good. It was a roller coaster, but the Kings got it done. They come back from down 20 in the first quarter to win by 21 in Detroit, 131-110. Sabonis, 8th triple-double in his last 18 games. Keegan Murray shows up in a big way, and it was a team victory. I know. I saw social media. I saw my own inner thoughts, which were pretty brutal, okay? But the Kings got it done. Chris Watkins did a great job on the postgame, as always. Thank you to everybody that hopped in our X/Twitter Spaces, which we will be doing.
Spaces, right?
Hashtag Beam Spaces, which we will be doing for the rest of the away game halftimes. Chris, can you even break down? And we have our Kings Roundtable at 12:30, so we'll have Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli get their thoughts because there's another game tonight. Got to take down Charlotte. Got to get it done off this back-to-back. Chris, just give me a look into your emotions.
Oh, no.
So we have to peel back the curtain, we have a group chat with the Kings Roundtable. We should actually rename it in the chat.
Should.
With Brendan Nunes, Frankie Cardicelli, Chris, and myself. And we're going back and forth talking. And Frankie, we'll call Frankie out when he comes in. Frankie was melting down the most out of the group. Brendan was the most optimistic, and myself. And you were, Chris was just what's going on.
Yeah.
Frankie was saying, this is insane. This is insane. And I'm sure Frankie
insane.
was just a microcosm of the rest of the fan base. Chris, what were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad for about 12 minutes there. I was getting prepared. I mean, I know all day yesterday I was on this program, kind of jabbing the Kings a bit, telling Chris Biederman enjoy the free wins and all that stuff. It was all for fun, It was not serious.
You were annoying me.
I was playing a little bit because I did think it was a bit impossible for the Kings to lose. And then as I was watching it, I was like, at least I could maybe, try and spin this and act like I knew the whole time.
Right,
but It was bad. It was so bad. That first quarter is inexcusable. I'm not just going to let it slide. I mean, I'm glad that they got the result, but I can't forget that just happened. I cannot forget that the Kings allowed the worst team in the NBA to score 47 points on the opening quarter after being absolutely demolished on their home floor by 50 points at one point.
Yeah.
I kind of expected the team to show out a little bit more. I'm of course glad they got the result. I'm thrilled at how, the final stat lines come together. You have 4 of the Kings' most important players all contributing offensively to the win, but I really feel like I wish it didn't take getting punched in the mouth by the Detroit Pistons for them to have that kind of response. Of course, I'll take it. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad we're not here talking about a loss, but I can't let that 47-point quarter slide. I'm sorry.
I feel like I am in one of those tough relationships where you're hoping that somebody changes, right? And every time they do something, they say it's the last time, and you hope that it actually is the last time.
Yeah.
So for me, the fact that they came back and not just won the game, not just squeaked it out, they basically erased the first quarter.
Yeah.
So for me, if they had won by 1 point, I'd be on your side.
It was real close at the end of 3 quarters.
I hear you. But, the better team won. To me, I will be in your camp if it happens tonight.
Sure.
Because this is another opportunity. I know they won their second game off a back-to-back when they beat the Magic. But again, they had lost the game before to the Hornets, I believe.
Right.
So I count it because you got it done. But that's because you lost, and that game wasn't even that competitive. So this is an opportunity to beat 2 really, again, we're forgetting that these are 2 really bad teams.
Oh, I'm not.
One of the 3 wins that the Pistons had was against the Hornets, right? So I understand where you're coming from. It got erased for me because they eventually got there. But you go out and you do this tonight, I don't think you're coming back, because even though the Pistons beat the Hornets, I still think they're significantly worse than the Hornets. So if you go out and try to roll the ball out again and you get down 20 and you give up 47 points, which is the most in the NBA this season for any team, at least
without Cade Cunningham,
without without B. Stu. So the Pistons have that championship, right? They have one record
led
for
at
this
end
season.
Of one quarter.
Led at the end of one quarter, 47 points. So you got to come out tonight, and I think that's how you start to build back confidence.
Sure.
Not just with the fan base. Who cares? Not who cares about the fans, but just for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have so much we can break down within this game. De'Aaron Fox still doesn't really look right to me.
Nope.
Okay. He had 4 turnovers, I think, in the first half. Might have even been the first quarter. I know he had 3 of them in the first quarter. So I don't know what's going on there. Now you're off a back-to-back. A lot of people have been saying, hey, man, do you want to just rest? Obviously, nothing. We're here. We're in. We have the injury reports. We have the insiders, our guys that we'll have on later. There's been nothing as far as injury for De'Aaron Fox. So all we're doing is speculating because he doesn't look right.
Right.
But he's powering through. He got the 26 last night, 10 for 19, 4 for 7. So he's powering through, but he doesn't look right. Keegan Murray, though. Keegan Murray, when we start to get to the positives and the Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey battle, I know we were talking in the pre-show that you were excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited for it. But even that matchup, I would say, is a bit of a microcosm of the game. Like, I wish Keegan came out with the level of fire that he eventually had. I wish it didn't take Jaden Ivey coming out and having, I think, 10 in the first. He had 15 at the end of the first half. Like, I wish it didn't take, again, them getting hit in the mouth for them to wake up and respond. I wish these are all wishes, but in an ideal world, I think, Keegan Murray comes out to me, Domantas Sabonis deserves every single dollar he got of his extension this past offseason. He earned it last night because I tweeted this out, but quite literally, that's the kind of game that you give truth serum to every single NBA star, and they will tell you, even Draymond, I think, said it on the shop a couple years back. It's tough to get up on a Wednesday in Sacramento when it's the third game in 5 nights. That was quite literally a Tuesday on the first night of a back-to-back against the worst team in the NBA when their best player isn't going. Sabonis was ready from tip-off. He was the only person giving 100% effort in that first quarter, and it showed. It completely showed, and that's why you saw Mike Brown go to JTA. You saw him go to Malik Monk midway through that first quarter because he just wanted dudes that he knew could go out there and were going to give their 100%. And I just wish that it's not just a Keegan thing, but I think as a team, I wish it didn't take them getting hit in the mouth against the Pistons for them to respond that way because, frankly, if they're playing the Sixers like that, like with that effort, which they're not going to give that level of effort against the Sixers, but they're lucky they were playing the worst team in the NBA, or else, again, if the Pistons score 47,
that's what I'm saying.
That could have been 60 for everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. The Hornets will beat the brakes off you if you do that tonight.
Terry Rozier will give you buckets.
And Philly, I don't even want to talk about Philly. Draper is going to be out there kicking it with his family. We know where his allegiance lies, but he's out there in Philly. I can't have my friends from Philly hitting me up saying, "Dude, what's up with your Kings, man? What's going on?" So before we even get there, I would say, to your note about the Draymond, and it's funny he did say Sacramento when he was mentioning that,
Literally,
which is just a subtle jab, not really subtle, a straight up jab. The thing about what you're saying about Draymond is I don't even give the Kings that type of grace. Okay, that's Draymond, who has been, 4-time champion. He's talking from that perspective. Sure. Kings, number one, haven't done jack.
They didn't earn that level of thing, but I don't think that's what it is.
I think it's actually more worrisome because I don't think that's what it was. I don't think that's what it was. I don't think they thought that they could roll the ball out. I think there is just something off with them, and I don't know what it just takes them a while to get going. I don't think that they took the Pistons for granted. I really don't. Which is more worrisome than them taking the Pistons for granted.
To me, I don't know. I with how hard Sabonis was playing, it was clear to me that they were deferring to, and maybe it's just because they like the matchup, but to me, it looked like Sabonis was playing at a different energy level than anybody else. And, I think that's been a problem with that, with some of these guys before. I think that it's got to be a combination of everything.
Probably
if you have that bad of a quarter, it's got to be. It can't just be effort. I would also say a bit of that is the Kings being unlucky. The Pistons were 7 of 10 from
Jaden
3.
Ivey.
They were 6 of 20 from the field. Those numbers were naturally going to go down. So a bit of that was just unfortunate.
Right.
Too.
What I'm looking at is you got Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Livers hitting corner threes, and the first one he made, I think the only one he made was in the first quarter, but I think that the reason I am including this part of the conversation is also because of what we saw against the Pelicans. You know what I mean? So it's a mindset thing that they're taking. It's the same mindset that they just can't change mindsets. So it's an issue with whatever that mindset is, and then they eventually break out of it. Now, the question is, would they have, quote unquote, broken out of it if they weren't playing the worst team in the league who was throwing the ball all around the court? Because the reason I'm pushing back on the idea of it being the Pistons, because we saw it against the Pelicans, who they should have had something ready for. Malik Monk even said it. Yeah. So we've seen it against a team that is a play-in team, possibly a playoff team, and then we saw it against the worst team in the league. So they're doing. I don't know if it's taken for granted. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But it's a problem. And if they do it tonight,
but also
they'll lose.
Zion didn't play in that Pelicans game.
I'm telling you,
I think that there is a bit of they feel like, we just don't like, you don't have to give 100%
That's trash
all
then.
the time. It is. No,
That's
it
trash.
completely is. I mean, and that's, I think maybe some of it is, I don't know. I mean, like yesterday too, it felt like there was and we've talked about it in the past, it feels like some of their offense too is going through the motion. So I don't know if there's a level of, I don't know if Mike Brown's yelling at him too much almost in practice to pay attention to details and make sure to run the offense and all that stuff. But I don't know. To me, something's clearly wrong because I mean,
we both agree there.
Yeah, you don't put a 47-point defensive effort after the game they just had and have it just be I don't know, that's just a slip. It's not, that's not something to worry about. We fixed it, look at the final result, it's nothing to worry about. To me, again, it really shows that I think Mike Brown he sent another message to Monty McNair yesterday with his playing of Juan Toscano Anderson, but to me I think that Mike Brown just kind of doesn't believe that he's got some guys that want to win, like understand what it takes to win. Like Mike Brown's been preaching defense for a year and a half now. And, you saw a different level of defense and of intensity in that second quarter. And I think that's what Mike Brown wants his team to play like from the start. And the fact that you can see a clear shift in defensive effort from the first to the second quarter, that's a problem. That should be the intensity from the start of the game. It shouldn't take you having to learn a lesson for you to play like that.
Agreed. And also, how much of that was the fact that they were playing the Pistons? Number one, they're better than them. Number two, we can't get clowned. Okay? Yeah. When you're losing to the Pelicans or somebody you've already lost to, you don't have that embarrassment that you had because they were getting roasted. Yeah. Brick Muse, all of these hater Muse, they were getting roasted. We got to get to a break. Obviously, so much to get to. The battles. We heard, hey, did Mike Brown lose the locker room? We heard it all last night. We heard it all. Got to get to a break. Paul, we see you. We're going to open up the phone lines on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. What is the problem in Sacramento? There shouldn't actually be a problem when you win 131 to 110, but how stuff looks matters. I had somebody once tell me you got to make things look easy that should look easy. When you are fielding a ball, when you are making a pass, when you are playing a team, you got to make it look easy. That's part of it. The eye test matters. It didn't look easy. How can you win by 21 and it didn't look easy? That is the most Sacramento Kings game, that I think we've ever
most Kings
seen.
versus Pistons game for sure.
Ever.
And I have a stat here from OptaStats that really points it out. The Pistons are the only NBA team in the shot clock era, which is since 54-55, to have an 18-plus point lead after one quarter but end up losing by 18 plus points. So yesterday was a special game.
Wow.
Not anything that's ever happened. I mean, for them to get out, because that's the thing is like it's not like the Kings were going tick for tack in that first quarter. It's not like the Pistons scored 47, but the Kings scored 40. They were getting straight up beat by the Detroit Pistons.
Got punked.
And that's why, again, Sabonis, shout out Sabonis. If he's not playing in that first quarter where he scored 15 points in that first quarter, I'm telling you, the Kings don't stand a chance on a night like last night.
They would have got blown out.
He was the only thing keeping them afloat.
And a couple nights ago, we had the whole podium gate, and we talked about who is a leader on that team. It feels like it's DeMontis Sabonis, at least on the court. This guy is yelling.
Scream?
That guy is yelling. He's screaming. He's bleeding.
That was a message.
Blood, sweat, and tears, quite literally. Yeah. That is Sabonis. And he's just saying literally like Kevin Hart, help me.
Help me.
Somebody.
That's what that scream was. When because I think it was like 13 to 25 at that point. That was, again, him saying, do y'all see the amount of effort, how I'm sunning this fool? Can y'all meet my energy level? Because right now it feels like, I mean, I know we were talking during the crosstalk. It was a dead arena.
Yeah.
It was completely dead. So maybe some of that had to affect the energy of the Kings. And again, they just felt like, like we can beat the Pistons. Like we can sleepwalk and then eventually turn it on and it'll be no problem. And that's what ended up happening, which is, again, like it's good that you can learn a lesson in a loss, or in a win, but it's a sketchy thing. They were playing with fire yesterday, and I don't think that this is a team that has shown that they have the proper fire safety habits.
No, unless it's a small fire, which was the Pistons because they're so bad,
right?
And they just couldn't do anything with the basketball.
Yeah, that was like lighter fluid was all over that, and then it just kind of doused.
The reason you don't feel as good as you should is because the Kings, they just played competent. You can't come out and play competent basketball.
Yeah.
We weren't asking for much.
No,
it didn't have to be
all-star level basketball.
They had to raise their game because they got in a hole.
Yeah.
They never had to play like that to beat the Pistons, but it's because you were sleepwalking through that first quarter. 916-339-1140, all guessing callers. Join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to Paul, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Paul? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
Yeah, I don't want to undersell how they've lost these blowout games, but when I'm looking at the overall picture, the big picture, they're on a pace to win maybe 50 games, and if they were 50 and 32, and 20 of those 32 we lost by 20 or more points, and we only won the 50 games by 10 and less, I would still take that 50 and 32 if we finished third or fourth in the division. And if we went on to the playoffs and we won 4 games by 1 point and we lost 3 games by 30 points, I'd still take that win. I hate it that they lose the way they lose and they just cash in. It is terrifying as a fan, but when you look at the big picture, they've got to keep winning. And if they do keep winning, the loss is one loss, whether it's by 1 or by 30. And a win is a win if it's by 20 or by 1. It's the same thing. But don't get me wrong. I hate the blowout losses. It tears at my heart.
Yeah, no, thanks for the call, Paul. That's ultimately the question.
Yeah.
And we've actually had this conversation from the last couple times they got blown out.
Every time we talk about blowouts.
Every time we talk about blowouts, how should it be connected to, I guess, the success and the end of the season? If, just like what Paul said, if you have 50 wins, but half of your losses were games where you just didn't show up at all, how should we view that? And the question is, does it correlate or will it correlate? Ultimately, we don't know.
We don't know.
But it doesn't feel good. I think the problem is if you are not showing up, and help me with that ratio, once every 5 games,
3 games,
right? Once every 3 to 5 games, regardless of the team,
right?
What happens when you have a 7-game series against a playoff level team? I would change that once every 5 to maybe once every other game,
which at that point you don't know what you're getting on a nightly basis.
Yeah, and I don't think that was it's a different team. Watching the Kings and Warriors last season in the playoffs, I don't think they sold it. I think they just missed shots, right? But this is a new team which seems to have different issues. And we can look at the point differential with the team last season, but not even to compare to that. If we're just looking at playoffs and where they're headed, if they continue on this path, if they continue doing this, let's not forget how hard the West is right now. Yeah. If they do this and they're a 5 or a 4 or a 5 seed, okay. Yeah. I mean, we know the lowest seed to win a chip. That was a while back in the 70s with the Rockets. I believe they were between a 4 and a 6 seed. That's the 70s. Yeah. Okay. Yes, the Heat got there last season. How confident did anybody feel that the Heat were going to get the job done? And they didn't. Yeah. They didn't. Yeah. So I would just say I don't disagree to get to the playoffs, but you're dealing with the Clippers team, you're dealing with the Nuggets team. I can't believe that a team that sells the game every 3 to 5 games is going to beat another playoff team.
Because all we're doing is getting information up into that point. And I think of it more so. Like, I almost want to compare this Kings team to, like, the Dolphins, where it's like you see the Dolphins, I think they're 10-1 against teams that are below 500. And, but we have questions about, like, they're a good team, but we know, if this team has to go against a quality opponent, if they have to play in some bad weather, there's things that we learned about that team that show us, you could believe in them, but there's also a lot that should tell you, this is a flawed team, and it shouldn't surprise you if they lose early in the playoffs or lose at all in the playoffs. And I think it's the same thing with the Kings where, you'll take 50 wins even if they're all below 10 and, whatever, all the losses can be 20-point blowouts. But what does that tell you about the team? That tells you that when they win, they're squeaking by and they're definitely not head and shoulders better than everybody. Right. But when they lose, they're just getting outclassed. And that's a bad sign for a team that's going to make the playoffs. If you have 50 wins and all of them are by close margin, that probably tells me that you got really lucky when it comes to one score, to correlate it back to the NFL, in one score games. And what do we always say about teams like the Eagles this year or the Vikings last year? You're a bit fraudulent. And so that's all that these big blowouts are telling me is there's something wrong with this team that needs to be addressed, or else whatever it is, these big blowouts are going to happen in the postseason as well. And that tells me you're probably just not to the quality of some of those other teams. Doesn't mean you're not good. The Kings have a top 10 record right now in the entire NBA. They're fifth in the West. They would be, I think, 4th in the East. They have a similar record as the Knicks. They're a good team, but it's just there's levels to this, and the Kings aren't at the highest level. Now, it's fine that they're at the level they're at. There's no problem, especially if they win 50 games, like you said, Paul. Like, they are on pace to be a really good team, but they're also on pace to have like 5 teams just in their conference that are better than them. So it's concerning, because we want the Kings to at least be in the conversation where it feels like, hey, they can realistically beat any of these teams in a 7-game series. And right now, again, like you said, every 3 games we're getting just a complete stinker. Why should we believe that the Kings are going to reverse that when they are only playing a good opponent?
I would make the argument, we got to get to a break. I would make the argument that this game tonight might be more important than going to Philly and going to Milwaukee, because this is a game you should have. This is a game you almost have to have. You're coming off a back-to-back. You have not won back-to-back games before this season. So can you do that? It's a low bar, but that's where I'm at. I will start the belief, and I'll stop thinking about the blowouts if they can do stuff like this, because they haven't done this. You need to check things off of your list, and they haven't done this. Let's see if they do it tonight. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, look, we have things that we set up when we start this show, but we are a show of the people, and I see you on the Sac Chat. You want to talk Harrison Barnes? We'll talk Harrison Barnes. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings look for revenge tonight in Charlotte.
Transition 3, Monk, heat check, score another one. Let the fun begin if Malik Monk can get it going.
The Kings battle the Hornets today at 4 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's the new year, so the big question is, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're starting the year off with even more savings. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 heavy-duty trucks with no payments for 90 days. That means you can get the new personal or company truck you've been needing and not make a payment for 3 months.
But why choose Hoblet versus all the other guys?
Because we not only have the best savings, we have the best selection of the hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks you need. Plus, when you come to Hoblet, you get the big city savings with the small town family feel. There's a reason why so many of our customers buy from us over and over again.
See our full inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 total net savings after 98.34 factory rebates and 51.66 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 Case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased qualifying new equipment from Case dealer. No payments for 90 days through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. 10th is net savings. See dealer for details.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Ooma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
our man behind the glass on the boards today, doing a great job as always. The 209 on our Folsom Lake Honda text line is responding to Paul. If you're still listening, Paul, of course you are. This guy gets it.
Boom.
So maybe we don't. Maybe. And again, they didn't even get blown out last night. They won the game.
Yeah.
Okay? They won the game. But I would argue it is how things look. Me and Chris slightly disagreed on how we feel about last night. I'm more interested in tonight. I am more interested in tonight because if you go out tonight, you take care of business, then I definitely don't care about the first quarter. But if you trick it off again and you're struggling, and now in 2 games where you could have rested some guys, this is off. I don't know if off record is the right term here. De'Aaron Fox is banged up. I don't know how. I don't know what's actually wrong. It could just be wear and tear of the season. It just takes anybody with eyes to see that he's not playing the same way, but he's powering through. He loves to do that. He did it last season as well. He's a dog, okay? But this is a game last night where you maybe could have rested guys in the fourth quarter instead of really battling
sweating it out. Yeah.
Now, I mean, to be completely honest, now that I think about it, I just literally thought about this right now. I know every game matters, and I know that the Hornets beat you on your home floor. It's essentially the last time you play them for the season. You got the Sixers. You know where I'm going.
You're going to say to sit people.
Sactown Sports brings you a doubleheader.
You got the Sixers on Friday.
Yeah.
You got the Bucks on
TV.
national TV. You got the Bucks on Sunday. You have the Suns on Tuesday. And then you have, without Tyrese Halliburton, you come home with the Pacers on Thursday. Yeah, I'm going to say it because you have the Hawks again, and then you get the Warriors. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I mean, is there no thought? It's a back-to-back. No thought to maybe rest the guys and rest Sabonis and rest De'Aaron Fox? I just thought about that right now.
I don't think you can do both. You can maybe do one. I mean, if you feel like Fox is banged up, which I agree that there's something. I don't know if I don't know how he would describe it, but he's not 100%. He's not definitely, like you said, he does not look like the same guy he did a couple weeks ago. Just the level of aggression, the amount of times it feels like he's attacking. It's not really the same. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, yeah, against a Hornets team, if you have to sit De'Aaron, like I think it would be a good opportunity to do so. It's, and I think that was Malik who had a bad game against the Hornets last time. So, I mean, I think that there's something to it. I would be hesitant to bench or to sit both De'Aaron and Domas. I think if you sit both of them, that's just that's a shock to the system for their offense. I don't know where they get anything going. I mean, Sabonis, you see last night, 13 assists. He gets so many people going that I don't know if you could afford to play a game where you don't have either of your best shot creators. So that's a little bit sketchy.
Well, just whether or not you're comfortable losing, right? I mean, is it worth losing this game to go into this tough stretch we have fully loaded? And if your answer, to answer your question, if you're not comfortable with that, you cannot sit both.
Right.
If you're comfortable with that, then you sit both and you say, hey, if we catch this L, we catch this L.
Sure.
That's more important to us. So it really just depends what's more important to them. Because Domas' finger was bleeding. He still balled out. But I'm just thinking, man.
I would say after yesterday, you didn't earn the day off. Like, I mean, if
Sabonis did.
You would have, for sure, Sabonis did. Absolutely. But, like, if you put together a good performance and maybe you reverse how that game goes, maybe you come out really hot to start the game and then you still get the result, but, let off the reins a little bit in the fourth quarter, then maybe you can say, all right, you guys can take the night off. But after last night, I don't think that they – whatever Mike Brown's been preaching and saying during practice clearly did not soak in to the initial game plan yesterday. And so if I'm the coach, I'm not benching those guys until I feel like we've truly turned a corner. I don't think that this team is in a position right now where they should be shaking things up any more than they need to. I mean, I feel like they're finally fully healthy. They haven't played like it. They haven't played like a team that was, injured and just trying to put it together and now have everybody back and the pieces are coming back together. If anything, it feels like you have all of your pieces available and now there's more questions than ever as to who's getting what minutes. JTA gets more minutes than HB does yesterday. And, Alex Len plays yesterday after JaVale played against the Pelicans. So it still feels like Mike Brown's trying to shuffle things and figure it out. So it just right now, it doesn't feel like the time. It feels like they almost need to play through these struggles right now.
Because I'm thinking in my mind, a lot of these teams have a win. Well, I guess they did get a couple good wins. Without De'Aaron Fox early in the season when they beat, what was it? They beat the Cavs.
They beat the Cavs or OKC. I think it was the Cavs.
Yeah, I know it was a back-to-back games, and De'Aaron came back for one of them.
Right.
I'm fairly sure they beat OKC without De'Aaron Fox.
It was because that was Keon Ellis's first start.
Yeah, that sounds right. So look, I'm not saying you should, especially if we sit here talking about tricking off wins.
Ideally, it'd be great to be in that position.
Here's the problem, right? And I think this is what you're coming back to. It might not be because of last night. It's because you lost to, and I know we need to move forward, but it's because you lost to the Blazers. It's because you lost to the Hornets last week that we cannot sit you now.
Yeah.
Because splitting with those teams and it's off a back-to-back, fine, whatever. But honestly, we can't afford to. So you try to build that up to cash in those chips later, and unfortunately, you're just not able to do it. We got to get to a break. When we get back, Jaime, we see you on the line. We'll get to you. We do want to get to HB and his struggles because like Chris said, from released, waived, to back on a 10-day, to playing more minutes than a starter. I mean, I am not in the NBA in any capacity, but something there doesn't seem correct.
Crazy.
Not to me and not to Chris. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports brings you a doubleheader of NFL playoff action this Saturday. The playoffs begin in Houston as the upstart Texans host the Cleveland Browns.
That's it! The Browns are going to the playoffs!
Following Game 1, the Dolphins head to Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Coverage of Super Wildcard Weekend begins Saturday at 1 on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper, your boy Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, if you've been on the fence about buying your first electric luxury car, it's time to get off the fence and go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I'm challenging you. Test drive any Mercedes-Benz fully electric car or SUV, and you will fall in love. In fact, my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is out in the parking lot right now. You know, I had a Tesla before this, but once I got the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, it felt like a brand new driving experience. It's on an entirely different level. Now, here's what I love about my EQS SUV. First of all, from the moment I sit in it, I feel like I'm stepping in a world of luxury. Plus, it's easy charging, and it has heated seats and cooling seats as well. It's an ultimate driving experience. I urge you, go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They're just 30 minutes from Sacramento. They're right off of I-5. Or, of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. You asked for it, you're about to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison Barnes. You know, we like Coach Mike Brown. We like him a lot. Reigning Coach of the Year.
Dude.
He's been doing a lot of great things, okay? Obviously. He ended the drought, or he helped to end the drought. But there are some questionable, and was it you yesterday who said that you use the comparison to the guy? No, that was about the podium gate. You send up Keon Ellis as somebody who you know is not going to get asked the hard-hitting questions the same way the vets have. We also use a comparison with Harrison Barnes because I like to compare Coach Mike Brown's rotations to high school. Okay, some of them don't make a lot of sense as to when you get in and then when you get out, and I think there are a lot of people having question marks. And Harrison Barnes is the senior who worked his tail off.
Super senior.
Super senior. He's a redshirt senior, 6-year
got
guy.
That COVID year.
Right. It didn't count against his eligibility, and he's done all the right things. Maybe even he came in as a walk-on, and he played well when somebody got injured. He does all the right things, but it's clear it's going to end for him at some point, okay? But the coach knows, he feels he can rely on him. He feels that he can do whatever it is, the little things that other guys can't do. So he gets treated differently than other guys on the team. Kevin Huerter can go cold, and Kevin Huerter gets removed from the lineup.
Yeah.
You have Duarte, who then comes in, and Duarte, who doesn't really do anything wrong, who also gets removed from the starting lineup.
Not only starting lineup.
No minutes.
A DNP yesterday.
DNP. Sasha Vezenkov comes in. It feels like he's shooting 70% from three. Okay? He can't get on the court. All right? Davion Mitchell, he loses minutes. He's not the backup. And then he comes in for garbage time, and then he's a starter. And then all of a sudden last night, we're going back to Keon. Yeah. Even though Davion didn't really do anything wrong. Yeah. You can say that Coach Mike Brown is searching for minutes, and I get it. And he's almost sending a message upstairs. I get all that. But why is the energy different just with the starting lineup? And I get the argument of, hey, JTA played more minutes than Harrison Barnes. Why does it matter? Mm-hmm. In my opinion, it does matter because we've seen this happen with other teams in the league. I get pulled, right? But Harrison can do whatever he wants, do a bunch of nothing. I coined the phrase last night, a dull Swiss Army knife. Yeah. Okay. You can do everything kind of.
It's
thank you.
On me.
Thank you.
I didn't give it the proper appreciation.
No. You'll hear it again. You'll hear it again.
It's solid.
The energy has to be kept the same. And if you're going to stand up there the way Mike Brown does and say, we got to hold everybody accountable, but you're not holding Harrison. And he would argue, my guess is that he would say, I am holding him accountable because if he's not doing well, I'll leave him out the game. But I do think there's something to be said about the fact that other people can get banged from the starting lineup. Yeah. But Harrison is there. Everybody else is there. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, they're there in Sharpie. And for some reason, Harrison Barnes is there in Sharpie when he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He should be there in, I would say, erasable pen. Remember those?
Yeah. Yep.
Even pencil.
Yeah.
Even pencil. Mm-hmm. But Sharpie, give me a break. He's not doing Sharpie work.
No, he's not. Not even close. And I agree with everything you just said. My only, not counter, but I would say the only thing I'll add to that is maybe yesterday is the turning point, not for HB, but for Mike Brown. Mm-hmm. Because yesterday was the time where 13 minutes, Harrison Barnes played 13 minutes, 42 seconds.
Yeah.
And again, JTA, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Mr. 10-Day, I think he literally rejoined the team yesterday, probably hours before the game started. he played more minutes than HB. And when like I said, Mike Brown, you said it there too. He was searching for guys last night. In that first quarter, he pulled all the starters.
That's right.
Except for Sabonis. And you know who he went with? JTA.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, HB, but when like I said, it took a while, but Keegan, he eventually responded to what was happening. De'Aaron still ended up putting up the numbers. Sabonis had it going from the start. But you look at HB, he's the only one who didn't bring it yesterday at all. Like, I think on a game like that, that's quite literally what HB is there to do. If you're the veteran on the team and you see, again, Sabonis giving 100% effort, but you look around at everybody else in that starting unit and you say, De'Aaron ain't giving us much. Keegan don't seem to have it. Kevin Huerter still ain't hitting nothing. Maybe this is Harrison Barnes' time to step up and be that veteran, to say, man, I'm recognizing my team don't have it. I have a 30-point game this season in game one, if anyone will remember, all the way back at this point. I want Harrison Barnes to step up in that moment, even though he doesn't have plays called for him. If your team is sinking like that against the Detroit Pistons, I hope Harrison Barnes is good enough or feels good enough about his talent to say, I can do something about this, right? I can do something about this. But to play 13 minutes, no points, 0 of 2 from free throw, 1 rebound, 1 assist in 14 minutes, and then JTA plays 14 minutes and has 6 rebounds? Come on. What else? Like, that again, that's the message that I think Mike Brown sent to upstairs yesterday was, I'm playing this dude on the 10-day because at least I know he's going to give 100% effort. HB's out here walking through the motions, putting up a rebound and an assist, and he's supposed to be starting. We're paying this man X amount of dollars, and this is what he's giving us? No, I'm going to play the dude who's going to be fighting for his NBA life because at least I know he's going to get rebounds. He's going to do the little things to try and stay on the floor.
He's diving on the ground after balls and doing all that he can to – make a change and make a difference in the game. Let's hear from Coach Mike Brown and what he had to say when he brought up that he actually didn't plan on playing JTA.
He just got back in uniform, I think, tonight before the game. And so I didn't plan on playing him. I just thought we needed a little jolt of energy. I thought we needed something defensively. We needed guys that would fly around. And so I called Juan's number. That's what he does.
See, so that wasn't even in the game plan.
No.
Wasn't even in the game plan, but I think Coach felt like, all right, we should be able to show up in this situation, in this capacity, and we weren't.
And that tells you it's not about skill either.
Hit the emergency glass. We're going to hit the emergency glass.
He wasn't looking for skill. Like that game, again, that game was not about the Kings' talent. It was about their effort level. And that's why when he's looking, he's not looking at, Sasha, he can knock it down from wherever, or, anyone, Chris Duarte, he brings defense in. No, it was just, I need guys that I know will go out there and give me some effort.
Oh, and hold on
That's
now.
it.
Hold on
That's
now.
all he was looking
I'm just thinking about this real quick. Didn't Whitey say at the game, we were at a game, okay, and Whitey said, Alan, if I hear you talk about JTA one more time,
he did say that.
I'm going to drive to the studio. Whitey, you better get in your car.
We have a reverse Draper situation here.
That's right.
Whitey,
you better get in your car and drive because we're talking JTA because he is the one who had to hit the emergency glass and be a part of not saving the Kings, but he was one of the guys that gave them that jolt of energy.
And Mike Brown trusts.
That's right. 916-339-1140 on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Let's get out to Jaime, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Jaime? You're on Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. What you got for us?
What's up, guys? Love the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, yeah, definitely. I'm glad the Kings won because I couldn't watch the whole game. I was tuned in on my phone. I seen we were down, so I got home and watched the fourth quarter. So it was a good comeback, and I know you guys are saying Sabonis was ramping it up out there, getting loud and stuff, and making noise and getting in the guys' ears. That's what we need. We need I know we're like in the middle of the season, so I have no idea what kind of game plan they got going on, but we just need to keep releasing that energy so that we can get ready for the playoffs because we know it was a close run last time with the Warriors. But that's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed there's going to be another close run, especially if we're giving up games. Like you guys said, every 3 games we're giving up a blowout. So we can't allow that. We could, even if they feel like they're going to lose, they should at least try to chip away at it and get it down, so it's not so so bad looking on themselves and on their confidence. But yeah, man, I want to hopefully we can get. I would like to see Coach go deeper in the bench, especially like that Pelican game. There's no reason why Valanciunas should be dominating like that when we got 7-footers out there. Like, just throw them out there and rough them up. Oh, will they foul out? Oh well. So I don't understand that part of why we're not, going at them harder with our body and our sizes that we have. Like, he sees Sabonis. I don't know if Sabonis is asking for the matchup or whatever, but there's no reason why, our big guys shouldn't be out there, helping out. And on the help side, we should be easily trapping them with our, with Kessler Edwards or someone like that. Like you guys said, JT was out there hustling. I think Kessler Edwards would do the same thing. He'll go out there, box people out and stuff. But yeah, man, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and our fans, dude, something I've been wanting to mention, our fans. We cannot have home games and we're being quiet, or like, especially in the playoffs, man. Oh my God, I get so frustrated when Curry's coming down the court. He's on fire and we're not making no noise. We're not trying to get him out of his zone. Like, there's 30,000, 20,000 of us. We should be getting nice and loud every time. You know what I'm saying? Defense chants every time. We got to get way louder. Like, we got to bring that playoff energy from the beginning as a stadium. We have that image where we're like a college town, where we're loud and stuff. So we got to keep that going. Like,
yeah,
I got to go to the Thunder game, and I was out there getting loud. I was, cheering on our guys and stuff.
Sure.
It was good.
You got to.
We're able to.
You got to. Thanks for the call, Jaime. We're up against it, but thanks for the call. And look, I rarely blame fans for anything, because I feel like you got to give us something to cheer.
Yeah,
about.
totally.
You know what I mean? I hear
Absolutely.
what you're saying, but you could also make the argument that Steph,
he quieted the crowd.
Right. He quieted the crowd, and he also feeds off that.
Yeah.
So what we're not really going to talk about today, and Jaime, you said a lot, so we can talk about some of the stuff you said. I'm not talking about the fans today, because I don't think that the fans were a part of the issue. But as far as the other stuff and the rotations, yeah, I think that JaVale McGee's role should change, okay? JaVale McGee has to be taken in doses. And there have been times where you've just seen JaVale too much. Yep. I don't know if maybe because the Pelicans are athletic that Coach Mike Brown felt like JaVale would be a better fit, because he's a leaper and things like that. But you enter the JaVale experience. Remember that back in the day, the commercial, the Michael Vick experience, where you would hop on the ride and you would pretend to be Michael Vick. You enter that JaVale McGee experience, you're going to get the whole McGee experience. So maybe there should be
never go full McGee.
Never go full McGee. So maybe there should be a little bit less of that in certain situations, and just figure out how to use them. We got to get to a break. When we get back, we're continuing the conversation. I see you on the Sac Chat. It is on fire in there. And the question is, they say, Alan, Chris, you're saying a lot. Give some alternatives. Give some resolutions. So we'll do that and much more. We'll also talk Keegan Murray when we get back. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good times spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th at Cal Expo.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Live
and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Kings, who won, by the way. They won last night by 20. They won by dub plus by 21, 131-110 against the Detroit Pistons, who are stuck at 3 wins. I mean, can we just talk about how much the Kings would have got clowned?
Endlessly, and they would have deserved it. I mean, you can't lose to the Pistons. And then especially, the fact that Cade didn't play, like it would have been bad. It definitely would have been the Willoty or whatever. Probably a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, and we're probably putting away a lot of our segments. We're like, you know what, these guys, we talked about them being grounded. At that point, I think we need to talk about some serious suspension of some topics.
Yes, you're definitely in detention.
Yeah, it's just hard to take a team seriously at that point.
No, and then
they got to earn some trust back,
because that's the thing. You can look up worst loss by an eventual champion, and I'm sure there's some bad ones. I know the Warriors had some bad ones with Kevin Durant.
Even
because
last
just
night,
whatever.
The Mavericks lost to the Grizzlies without any of their guys either. And
by the way, quickly before we get back into Kings, I got a text that I wanna read as well. I sent this to you because if you've been listening to the show, thank you for listening. If you're new, thanks for checking in. So basically, Chris and I, it happened with CJ McCollum against the Kings. The whole they were supposed to draft me. Yeah. They said this, they said that, and Chris and I, we are bonding over our annoyance with these guys who we know it's the Michael Jordan mentality, but everybody has got to grind to gear to grind. Everybody has an issue.
Line.
So last night, Desmond Bane goes off, and what does he say in the post game? The Mavericks said they were going to draft me, and the PA announcer even said he was sorry or whatever it is. That's what he said.
I'm looking at
That's what he said. So
he said
another
the PA guy came up and apologized. He said he thinks about it every day.
And the PA guy's probably like, why am I in it? I told you that in confidence, Desmond. And now the team, whoever they drafted instead of Desmond Bane, is probably looking at the PA guy sideways, and they got to have conversations.
By the way, Desmond Bane picked 30th in the NBA draft.
Come on,
so
man.
He was quite literally passed by every single team.
We don't have to do this.
Oh, man.
But there's only a vendetta against one team. Yeah. No, you can create a vendetta the day you ball out against a team.
I didn't even know this, but I just gained respect for Brock Purdy because I've not heard him once say, "Oh, I did this because this team passed on me."
Yeah.
So, they had me for 3 workouts, and even though every single
team,
including his own team,
yes, multiple times. So maybe he just can't.
Yeah,
he's in the opposite side of it. He has no room to do that. All right, getting back into the Kings talk, I got a text here that I want to read off on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Text line from the 916. I love Brown throwing a ton of different players out there, trying to find guys today who will bring it.
Yeah.
The worm needs to turn. This is how you find your 8 come playoff time.
Yep.
I agree with you, 916, but he's not fully playing everyone, though.
No. Last night is the first time where I was like, cool, that makes sense to throw everyone out. The Mike Brown rotations throughout the year have been questionable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you detailed, the Davion in and out, the Alex Len versus McGee in and out, the Sasha some minutes, and then DMP, Duarte, the Herder stuff. All that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, or you can't really track what he's going off of. But on a night like last night, I love him just saying, again, kind of like the texter saying there, who are some guys that I can trust? And eventually, come playoff time, it really is about your 8 players. Who are the guys, who are the 7 or 8 guys that you feel comfortable going down with the ship? And, I think that maybe last night Mike Brown learned maybe it's not JTA he's willing to go down with.
It can't.
I think it's more HB's a guy I'm not willing to go down with.
Right. And I mean this, look, Bay Area guy, myself, as well as JTA. I love JTA. But if JTA is in your 8-man rotation, that's not going to work. JTA played a lot for the Warriors the year before they won the championship. He did not play very much in that 2021-2022 season when they won. He is great for certain things, but I don't believe that he is a rotational piece on a championship team. And I don't believe that Coach Mike Brown thinks he is.
No.
I think Coach Mike Brown wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
To say, this is the only guy I feel like that can give me some energy. Because let's not forget, he's on the bench, okay? Obviously, he's the coach. So he is seeing everybody's body language. He is reading everybody and was probably reading them in practice before they went into this game to feel like, all right, who do I think is going to wake these guys up?
Yeah.
And it wasn't some of the guys, and I know
he does love JTA though.
He does love JTA.
I mean, look no further than him putting in JTA for the best 19 seconds anyone's ever played against the Orlando Magic. That tells you what he thinks about JTA. He's like, game on the line here against Orlando. I want JTA on Paolo Banchero, okay? And then last night, the world is crumbling in front of his face. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose to the Pistons. First rotations, or he's throwing JTA out there. I mean, I think if anything, it just tells you how much Mike Brown loves JTA.
JTA on a 10-day versus Harrison Barnes making what, 17 a year?
17, yeah. I think he signed 3-year, 54 in the offseason.
That's a problem. Yeah. That's a problem. And I'll go a step further that I don't know if that's as much of a sign to Monty McNair, because if I'm a trade suitor, right, or if I'm somebody looking to trade and I see that, I'm not thinking, oh, man, maybe Harrison Barnes in a better situation. Sure. I'm thinking, I don't know what Harrison Barnes is worth, to be completely honest with you. But you can't think like that. As they've said multiple times, coaches in weird situations, whether they're tanking or whatever, my job is to win basketball games.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I felt like JTA could help us more than Harrison Barnes. If that hurts Harrison Barnes' tradability, I can't really care about that. I can't really care about that. So, and by the way, that text was from, believe it, from the Big C. So shout out to the Big C. We love to let names be known when you throw them on the text line. Let's get to Sabonis. And that's something that we haven't really talked about, and how really he just balled out.
Completely.
He just balled out.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a guy who his 8th triple-double in the last 18 games. Okay, it also was reported, we'll talk about this a little later in the show, he'll be a part of the Netflix NBA version of quarterbacks. We'll talk about who else is on that show in a little bit. But Sabonis and this leadership thing that we continue to talk about. We see numbers. I mean, he's being mentioned with Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, right? I mean, really historic players, legends in this game. And, you know, when we do these MVP ladders, and we've seen Sabonis, and we've thought Sabonis, we go back and forth. Okay, Sabonis is disrespected to some degree. Shout out Kevin O'Connor, still waiting for you to come on the show, answer my DM. And we talk about the disrespect, and then we also try to talk about the disrespect of De'Aaron Fox, because wasn't it just, we talked about how De'Aaron Fox was number 15 for top players based on the Ringer, and you had Sabonis number 22. Now, a couple of weeks ago when Sabonis, they were both balling out, really, you had Sabonis was number 8, I think on the MVP ladder. De'Aaron Fox wasn't there. We're saying, hey, great for Sabonis, but where's De'Aaron Fox? Right now, Sabonis is the MVP of that team. Okay, Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis Domas is the MVP of the Kings, and I don't know how close it is at this moment in time.
No, at this moment in time. But you know what's funny too is last year I told I was like, Sabonis was arguably and I think debatably the MVP of the team last year, and I think it's a good sign. I don't think it's necessarily a negative that it means that. I think De'Aaron, I think we still all will acknowledge De'Aaron is the best player on the team, the guy who's going to lead the team in scoring. And if De'Aaron's not playing well, nothing else matters anyway. But Sabonis is the guy who, if he's playing at his best basketball, which he clearly is right now, it just does wonders for the rest of the team. De'Aaron can get himself going, and him being a star is incredibly crucial. But Sabonis, when he's doing well, not only is it himself that's going to get 37 points on a given night, or 25 almost guaranteed every single night, but he's also going to get 13 assists instead of getting 10 rebounds. You know, he had a double-double with assists way before he had a double-double with rebounds last night. He gets other guys going. He gets Malik going. His screen assists are a thing that I saw Will Z put the number up yesterday. I think he had 13 screen assists. That's a number that, when we say use the cliche, does things that don't show up on the box score, that's Sabonis's number one thing with a bullet that doesn't show up in the box score. He is the best in the NBA and has been for a couple years now in the screen assist department, and that's getting guys open. And you saw it last night, Malik, he had a trailer 3 where Sabonis just kind of dumped it behind him.
Saucy.
Malik had all day to shoot that thing, and that's the kind of thing where, when earlier you were mentioning, can you rest Fox and Sabonis on a night like tonight? Those are the moments where I'm like, you cannot sit Domantas Sabonis. To me, I think the Kings could survive a night where De'Aaron's not playing. If Sabonis isn't playing, I think the entire offense is just completely thrown for a loop.
That's scary, though.
They could probably survive a game, maybe
but it's
2.
The Hornets, though.
But the problem is Sabonis is the heart of the offense. He's the engine of the offense. And if he's not there, you can't just throw Alex Len out there or Trey Lyles in his spot and say, hey, can you do a version of what Sabonis does?
It's completely different, but I'm saying you got to play 82 games then?
As close as he can. I mean, you saw last year, like he had a busted hand. He had his thumb was pretty much not attached to his hand, to his right hand. And he had to play. He didn't have to play through it, but he did. He played through it. He played, I think, 75 or 78 games last year. We don't even know, really. We haven't gotten a large enough sample size to really see how this team would try and adapt. But, man, I can't even imagine what this team would look like without him.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, Sabonis is better than some of your favorite players. We got some numbers to support it. We're also talking Keegan Murray and his big night. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Snatch De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors. Extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, Cal Hope can help. Check out our free mental health resources at calhope.org today.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly.
Cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. Stiles Watkins, cut it. Sactown Sports. Taking you up to 2 p.m. We're talking Domas. We're talking Keegan Murray. We're talking a Kings beam. Okay? We can live in a world where we have expectations for a team, but we're still happy that they got it done. We're still happy that you opened your door, you opened your window, you saw the beam last night. Doesn't matter how you get it done. Doesn't matter how you beam, as long as you beam. Here you go, Chris.
Yeah.
Everybody has a lot to say about Domas and how he is a generic store, generic brand, general store Jokic.
Yeah.
But this is the weird thing. I'm looking here at these stats so far.
Them numbers?
In 2024, and you know what they say: men lie, women lie.
They sure do.
But numbers, they do not. Sabonis and Jokic. Jokic averaging 20 points per game. Sabonis averaging 24.6 points per game.
Okay.
Jokic averaging 10 assists a game.
That's good.
Sabonis averaging 9.2, so 0.8 away. That's fine.
Close enough.
Jokic averaging 7.8 rebounds a game. Sabonis averaging 15.4 rebounds per game. 15.4.
Yeah.
The Kings look for revenge.
Gosh. Yeah. How about that? That's crazy because those are Jokic numbers is what I would tell you. And the fact that, that just shows how ridiculous, like you said, Sabonis has been this team's MVP for about 2 weeks now. And it's been incredible. Like, he is playing at a level that I didn't really think he could get to, much like how we talk about how De'Aaron, in his improved 3-point shooting, maybe foolishly so, I thought Sabonis had a cap. I thought there was, this guy, he's a great passer, fantastic passer. But when we talk about, vision and having generational type vision,
right?
Jokic is that guy. And that's why he's able to get 9 to 10 assists in a season. And, Sabonis, he's incredible. The heart of the Kings offense, even he peaks out at about 7. So the fact that he's sitting right now at 9 and, we've seen him, 8 triple doubles in 18 games, consistently getting over 10 assists. And then the 15 rebounds is broken. That's like Shaquille O'Neal numbers. And so that doesn't make sense. And then you throw the points on top of it. It's a guy that I just didn't think he could be. I thought if he were to be a guy who could get near that 10 assists, I assumed it was going to be because he was going to be more passive and, Keegan's going now and we got Herter and we got Malik Monk. So I don't have to be as aggressive looking for my shot because I'm more focused about setting everybody else up. So the fact that he's able to put all of those things together, leading the NBA in rebounds while still putting up 25 points a game and then getting near that 10 assists, that's crazy. That is nuts. And that's why, I just told you Kevin O'Connor put out a pretty trolly tweet, but that's why it's so frustrating when people are out here, especially in the national media, just straight discounting Sabonis and saying the Kings cannot be successful with him as their best player or as one of their best players, because clearly the dude is playing at top center level.
No ball is what I would say. That's what the kids say. You don't know ball if you are saying disparaging things about Sabonis or think he's overrated. Just watch film, watch tape and see what he does night in, night out. And it's getting to the point where it's not just on the court and it's not just the stats on the court. It's also his mentality.
Yeah.
It's also how he is picking this team up.
Yeah.
And you don't have that vocal leader in De'Aaron Fox, which is fine.
Yeah.
We see teams win that way all the time. I actually think, to be honest, Jokic is a little bit more vocal than people think. If you watch him on the court, he's a vocal dude. I think he might be less vocal off the court, and people kind of add that to his persona on the court, but he talks a lot. So maybe that is the vocal leader in Denver. I know we talked about, was it Jamal Murray, whoever it is? I think he is. And on the Kings, I think it's turning into Sabonis. I think that's who he is. He's always talking on the court.
I read a lot into that scream yesterday. Like, I really thought that scream was his way of, like, he almost wished he could be somebody who gets in people's faces and, like, really yells at them. And I think that was his way of releasing, again, some sort of message. And, not everyone can be, the rah-rah leader, give Tim Tebow speeches or whatever. Some guys, like, they just don't have that in them. And I think that's Sabonis's, it was almost like an intro or breakthrough moment of him saying, I don't care how it looks. I don't care about the aesthetics. This is as close as I can get right now to yelling at my teammates and hoping they receive the message, because again, I don't know why else he would have felt the need to scream. And he's not a dude who's going to, flex on somebody if he dunks on him. And so I don't know why else he would have had that level of emotion in that moment, except to try and send a message to his team. So I feel like that scream yesterday was a step in the right direction for Sabonis, like you're saying, being more of that vocal leader. I think it's a baby step, but it's still a step in the right direction.
First triple-double with 35 or more points by a Kings player since Mitch Richmond had 38 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists versus Detroit in 1997. He becomes a fourth player in franchise history with a 35-point triple-double, joining Oscar Robertson, Mitch Richmond, Jack Twyman, and there you go. And we just read the stats from Jokic. Of course, we have somebody, it's a little bit confusing, some of you in the Sac Chat, and we love the Sac Chat, but your name is Crown Royal.
Oh, this
and
guy.
It's purple, and I would assume you are a Kings fan. And you're saying, hey, why didn't you bring up Sabonis turnovers versus Jokic? I mean, there's only one Jokic, right? I mean, I don't really understand your point. If you are a Kings fan, why exactly you would be against trying to prop up somebody that's on your team. If you want to be a fan of Jokic, that's fine. But Sabonis, if your name is Crown Royal, is on your team. So sounds like an interesting struggle.
Even if it is significantly higher than Sabonis or than Jokic's, like, okay, should we just discount all of Sabonis's numbers?
Yeah, I just don't know what to do.
If that's the case,
yeah,
I don't know. I had to give that fool some words the other day on the post game live stream. So,
oh, you did?
Yeah, he's just a troll. He's just
there.
A
you
troll.
go. All right,
he just wants to.
Gotta get to a break. When we get back, David, we see you on the line. We also have. I mean, I don't know. It's not breaking news for Sacramento, but it is big news.
Definitely big
in the NFL. We will get to that, and somebody's out in the NFC West. We'll tell you who when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Are you a business owner in need of financing? Then you need Swish Funding, the better way to get the funding you need. Our simple application process takes just minutes with funding as soon as one business day. At Swish Funding, we focus on your business cash flow, not your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with funding from $5,000 to $5 million. If you've been in business for 1 year and have monthly revenue of at least $25,000, you could get the affordable funding you need with no collateral at swishfunding.com. That's SWISH funding.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. We have some big news as we get back into Kings in a second here. Pete Carroll is expected to be out as the Seahawks head coach, per sources from Adam Schefter. He still could remain in the organization, but not as the head coach.
Interesting.
End of an era.
Oldest coach in the NFL, right? Wasn't he older than Bill?
Right. He doesn't act like it.
I'm pretty sure he was older than Belichick. Yeah, he definitely does not act like
14 seasons, and he went 137-89.
Yeah.
2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
1 Super Bowl win, obviously, and he will be
Could have been
remembered.
2.
Yeah, he will be remembered for not running the football. And also, Niner fans out there, you can basically, I guess, bury or put to rest the gum chewing scenes that I know have haunted you for years. I mean, you've done pretty well against the Seahawks lately, but I know the first thing when I talk to Niners fans, Pete Carroll is just on the sidelines chewing that gum. I just can't stand him. Well, you won't have to see it anymore.
Yeah.
Now things get real interesting. Would he do it? Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about.
I don't.
Go Blue. From the Niners to the Seahawks, Jim Harbaugh.
I don't know. I don't think that situation's good enough for him.
Great team.
Yeah.
But I don't – DK is probably what, like 26, 27?
No idea.
You know, Jackson Smith and Jigba's young. Their defense is young. So I think you're in a position that you could get a rookie. There's enough time to grow with a rookie. And if you feel like flipping DK – because I don't know. I personally feel like wide receivers, and I might sound crazy here, I feel like wide receivers are headed towards running backness.
Oh, no. I think the opposite.
Well,
I think receivers have never been more valuable than they are.
But
now,
I think that every season you can catch a couple good ones.
You could. I mean, it does feel like now. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the next one. Like, it feels like, there are new receivers hopping in every year, but at the same time,
and nobody wants to pay anybody. So they'll
receivers are getting
flipped around.
Bagged out.
Yeah.
Receivers are getting bagged out more than ever.
I guess I'm talking more about you could find somebody if you didn't feel like if the timelines didn't match up. We know Tyler Lockett is older.
Yeah.
If the timing didn't feel like it matched up with Tyler Lockett retires, and then you have DK Metcalf, I think they could say we got Jackson Smith we think could be a high 2 or a 1.
You got Drew Lock just waiting in the wings, you know.
Not quite. Not quite. But we will continue to get into that a little bit later in the show. Want to keep it rolling with the Kings, but there was some news there.
Yeah. Shout out those USC teams, too. When
I
think of Pete Carroll, I'm going to think back on the Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lendale White, Steve Smith, Jason Garrett. Or not Jason Garrett. That's the coordinator. Dwayne Jarrett. That's what it was. Dwayne Jarrett. Sick team. Just that was my introduction when I was a kid to college football, and I don't think there could have been a better introduction. So I'll always remember the USC Pete Carroll.
There you go for the dreams and nightmares that Pete Carroll has given.
Give Reggie Bush his
Niner
Heisman
fans.
Back.
Give Reggie Bush his Heisman back. I can't wait to talk about that more in the summer when we are, breaking down all the fun content. Also have some not breaking news for Sacramento, but Kawhi Leonard, but technically it is because right now it's the 4-5. So you're going to see this guy in the playoffs if they started tomorrow. Kawhi Leonard has signed a 3-year, $152.4. Don't forget the .4.
You better not.
$1 million fully guaranteed contract extension with the Clippers per Shams.
I would love that .4. Can I take that?
Can I just get the .4? Can I get the .1? How about that?
I'll take a .1. Shoot. God.
So I will say Kawhi Leonard, we just talked yesterday about how healthy he looks. Obviously, the Clippers feel the same way.
Yeah.
And say what you want, as a Kings fan or somebody fan of a team in the Western Conference, the Clippers look good.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at these timelines, you see the Warriors, you can't believe that they have more than 2 years to get something done. Okay, realistically.
I think the clock's already struck midnight there.
Lakers, I really don't know, because if you actually look at the Lakers team, it's LeBron and AD are really the only ones that are. LeBron is LeBron. AD is, I guess, in his prime, or towards leaving his prime. Everybody else is young. Now they can't win right now, but I don't know what to do with the Lakers. And
Zach LaVine could be on that team in 3 weeks.
Exactly. Same. Then you have the Suns, who KD is elder statesman.
Yeah.
A Devin Booker led team with Bradley Beal, I don't think scares anybody, honestly, as much as this Clippers team. So something to keep an eye on if they keep rolling. And obviously, as long as you keep James Harden happy, there will be something special happening. They got the new arena opening up.
That's
finally.
What this is all about. To me, I don't even think this is we believe Kawhi Leonard's healthy. This is we have a new stadium opening this summer. Buy season tickets, please. That's what I'm reading this as. Is they're trying to have as much stars as possible so that it's an excuse to say, hey, you can see Kawhi, and who knows if Paul George is going to stay. I think I saw that they're working on his extension right now, but I think the Clippers niche isn't necessarily going to be actual championship ceiling. It's just, hey, come to LA and see another team that has stars.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a really dope arena though.
It looks sick. I saw because I think they're talking about opening it this summer, so it's pretty close to being open. It's got the structure and the outside all built, so it looks like a sick stadium. But knowing Steve Ballmer, I'm assuming it's going to have some interesting bells and whistles to that thing.
Even you just saying opening in the summer, I'm thinking, well, what are they going to be offering rides? What's going on? They got roller coasters?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on there? Let's get to some of these calls on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to David, who has been hanging on, who wants to talk Kings. What's up, David? You're on Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. What you got?
What's up, fellas?
What's up? What you got for us?
Real quick, Chris, before I get to the Kings, I just want to tell you, a fellow Vikings fan, not a fan of KOC. I think he's a great play designer, but not a good head coach.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Agreed.
Kings. Moving on to the Kings. I got clowned on this one time for bringing this up on one of the nefarious Facebook Kings pages, but there are certain lineups out there where Sabonis would be better at playing the 4, even though I know it could be a defensive liability because guys might run by him or whatever, and have Alex Len in there. One of them, believe it or not, is against Valanciunas. It seems like he's kind of he knows those guys grew up together, I believe. They're from the same country. Yeah. They're on the same, I believe.
Yes.
So he knows the game, and he has a hard time against him. I mean, that's the one guy that he doesn't – I might be off a little bit, but his numbers aren't as sparkly as they are as against other teams. The other thing is I know this Siakam is kind of a joke. I don't know. I mean, the NBA hands out money now like candy for guys that put up 5 points a game even. But I don't know if he's going to be getting $50 million this offseason like he's thinking he is at age 30. But I think what the Kings need to do, in my opinion, is go after they need more length. And maybe the 4, especially an athletic kind of 4, may not have to score a lot, but they can take it to the rim and block shots and grab boards in place of HB. And I like HB. I don't think that he's having as bad as years offensively as people think. I think it's just because he's short-rifted on shots because that's kind of the role that he's in right now. And I think that he would be fine on another team where he's at least the 3rd option. I mean, right now he's like the 5th or 6th option, even when he's coming in with the second team. He's not even a focal point of the offense. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think more length would be good in the front court to help out Sabonis. interior. But we really need a guy that can create his own shot, flashing to the rim, and that can block shots, I think. But thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call, David.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Is HB not producing because he's the fifth option, or is he just simply not producing and that's why he's the fifth option?
I mean, he's been the third option on this team before, and that was when I still felt like he's not consistent enough. I mean, to me, the issue is consistency. He's one of those guys, and it's not just an HB thing. There's, again, it's been a while, but we used to talk about Harrison Barnes variance throughout the NBA. It's a thing. It's just a thing that there's some guys in this league who have a tendency to kind of fade away into the black. And Andrew Wiggins is one of those guys. Absolutely. Ask every Golden State Warrior fan right now what they think of Andrew Wiggins. Some nights he can give it to you. We saw that in the playoffs. He's a guy who's able to get a bucket whenever he needs to by himself. But there's also, there's Tobias Harris is somebody who's fallen victim of that as well. I just think HB is not consistent enough. I won't say reliable, but I'll say consistent enough to be relied on to be the third option. And then as to the length conversation, it's actually really interesting. Something I thought was going to be a bigger thing heading into this year, because on media day, me and Whitey talked with Alex Len, and amongst other things, Alex told us, Alex let us know that, I asked him, hey, you guys got demolished by Kevon Looney in the playoffs. How are you guys going to adjust to that? And Alex's answer was, I think we're going to run a lot more two big lineups than you ever saw before. And we've seen none of it since. And I definitely, the way Alex said it, it was almost as if, no, this is a thing that we've been talking about. Like, we've been trying it out in the off season. And it seemed like it was going to be the way that the Kings were going to try and combat the terrible rebounding or getting killed on the offensive glass like they did a couple times last year. We just haven't seen it. So I say all that to say, I don't think we're going to see it, because if they haven't done it yet, and there's been some clear and obvious needs for bigger lineups, I think that they just don't view it as a viable answer.
Not right now, but you never know. Alex Len wasn't playing until the playoffs.
Sure.
So maybe
that's a good point too.
To unleash it.
You're not
just
wrong.
like everybody said when the Niners lost to the Ravens. Oh, Kyle Shanahan was hiding part of the playbook.
For sure.
Maybe Coach Mike Brown is hiding part of the playbook and waiting to unleash it in the playoffs. When we get back, we are having the conversation about one Kevin Huerter. And another question, the Harrison Barnes conversation. Is there a simple solution and they're already on the roster? We'll talk about who when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220, 800-859-3220, or biglou.com.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Manny hit us on the text line. Hey, Manny here from the Sac Chat. Do you guys think HB can come off the bench and have someone like Lyle start for his role? Would you guys think that would work? From the 503. Shout out to 503 and shout out Manny, always holding it down in the Sac Chat. That's exactly where we were going.
Yeah.
At least that's where I was going, because that's the easiest switch to me.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of similar things, right? HB, I know he gets to the rack sometimes, but honestly, he shoots threes and he waits, and it's normally later in the shot clock.
Yeah.
And you're not going to help off Fox, and you're not going to help off Keegan, and if Malik's in there, you're not going to help off Malik. So it's normally going to be HB with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and he takes the open three because you're supposed to. That's Trey Lyles, and Trey Lyles has been shooting the mess out of the ball.
Yep.
So I think that is the easiest thing or easiest way I would make that change if I were Mike Brown.
Yeah, and then you talk about, too, I mean, chemistry, too. I mean, there's a lot of talk about De'Aaron and Malik's relationship. De'Aaron and Trey are the two that I see talking. Like, I know those two. I mean, they have the Kentucky connection as well, and I think those two are really good friends, and, you know, I think it would be seamless. I think, like you said, Trey is somebody who provides three-point shooting. He rebounds way more than Harrison Barnes does, so you also are getting a rebounder. You're getting a bit of a bigger, stronger body. He might not be as mobile as HB is, but I think he's still, to your point, I think he provides everything HB does. And, you know, frankly, I mean, in terms of scoring pop, he's been more consistent than HB has as well. So maybe if you're looking for all the other stuff, maybe HB, you could say you like HB for those things more. But in terms of hardcore number production and even the eye test, I think Trey Lyles consistently is more impactful than HB. So I don't think he falls into that Malik Monk conversation either, where we talk about Malik is necessary off the bench to provide that pop. You don't necessarily need two of those guys. If I think Trey is more than capable of being a starter. And the only question is, and I guess it doesn't matter because Duarte didn't necessarily earn his starting spot, but do you feel as if Trey Lyles' play is warranted? Like, is this more a benching of HB, or is this benching of HB, but Trey is also playing well enough to earn it? And I think it's
both.
It's both.
I think it's both. Now, we're going to get to another text that I see that I am against, very similar to what you said, but let's get out to the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, 916-339-1140 with Steven, who has been hanging out. What's up, Steven? You are on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Good morning, boys. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Not trying to derail. I know you guys got Kevin Huerter things to cover. Did you guys catch anything? Did you guys catch the post game? Did you guys happen to notice Malik Monk's comments to, I believe, was it G-Man? I think it was G-Man. Something about off-court things.
No.
Maybe getting in the way or something. I was on my way home yesterday on light rail, and I caught a little bit of it during the halftime. I think it was halftime, or maybe it was post game. I can't specifically remember, boys. My
It was
apologies,
probably post game. If it was with G-Man, it was probably in his post game interview.
But it was Malik Monk had mentioned something about something off court related, and Jason immediately, I'm calling you out, Jay. He literally was just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to touch that. And I don't know if you guys happen to catch that. I'm not trying to open up a can of worms here, but that was something that caught my attention, and I did want to bring it up to you guys, see if you guys caught it.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously.
Maybe JJ can hook it up. You know what I'm saying? By the way, shout out to JJ. My man's out here holding it down there in the midday, man.
Always. You got to be dynamic.
Always.
You got to be versatile.
Got to be dynamic, man. You got to be dynamic out here, man. You got a two-way player, right?
Yeah.
Behind that glass.
That's right.
Man, put him on, man. Anyway, yeah.
Thanks, Steven.
Thanks for the call,
Appreciate
Steven.
it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't catch that.
No, I didn't either.
Sounds like, and we can try to find that sound before the show ends. It sounds like Malik Monk alluding to some off-court things maybe affecting them on the court. And if Jason's saying, hey, I'm not touching it, you know, we know Malik is always good for a soundbite. We know Malik is very open with people, but I would just probably table it at this point and see what happens tomorrow night and
just hope it, whatever it is, it doesn't continue to affect it.
Right.
Affect
And just go from there, you know, without full context. Also wanted to touch on what this person had to say from the 916, because they have in all caps, the lineup is Fox, Monk, Keegan, Lyles, and Domas. And
That
I would
is
say to you,
the
916,
closing lineup.
916, I love that, but there's just not enough meat on the bench's bone to do that. That's how I feel.
I think that should be the Kings' go-to closing lineup.
Mhm.
So that kind of gets rid of having to worry about, you know, Malik. I think the point should be from that text that I'm going to take is that is the what should we call it? The doomsday five. Like if the aliens are coming down and saying, hey, Mike Brown, put your best five out there. let's go ball up. I think that's the 5 Mike Brown's taking right now. I think he's putting De'Aaron out there, no doubt. Malik, no doubt. Sabonis, no doubt. Murray, no doubt. And I think if the 5th option is between HB, Herter, Trey Lyles, and pick whoever else you want, I think you got to give the nod to Trey Lyles. It just feels like, again, he can provide you some rebounding. He can provide you some shooting. And I think those other 2 guys, you're hoping for those, but Trey consistently gives you a little bit of both of them.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think closing lineup great. And look, I've been on these airwaves saying, hey, if you're not good enough to close, why are you good enough to start? And I'm not going back on that, but I do think that the context matters, and it's maybe not that simple because throughout the course of the game, a lot of things can change. And if you're trying to figure out minutes and things like that, the thing is, we're not disagreeing with the 916 that's the Kings' best lineup. Yeah. We're not disagreeing with that. The disagreement is, can they afford to start that lineup? Mm-hmm. And as of right now, I don't think they can.
I would say
now I'm interested in what HB would bring off the bench, right? The problem is if HB brings you nothing and Kevin Huerter brings you nothing, those rotations are going to be complete garbage.
Yeah, just complete waste.
There's just going to be some bad
minutes.
Some bad minutes where you have a Keon Ellis,
Keon or Davion
with Herter. We saw something like that against the Pelicans, and I almost lost my lunch. Yeah. I mean, they were playing hot potato. You shoot it. No, you shoot it. No, let me drive to the lane and kick out to somebody who's not going to shoot it. Right. And I can't watch that. And I think that's the problem. It's the snowball effect of that lineup. It's not the fact that I think most of us would agree that is the best lineup.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that you can't. I think that's a perfectly fine closing lineup. But again, I'm not going to change my stance. I actually do agree with Mike Brown that Malik is perfect coming off the bench. He's perfect providing that pop. I just think ideally, you need somebody else to be able to give something to that starting lineup because I just think Malik is so perfect in his role. But closing the game, I can't think of a better 5 that I would rather have out there. And most importantly, trust, because at the end of the game, you just got to put 5 guys out there that you hope will minimize as much mistakes as possible and will at least give the necessary effort and attention to detail to go win a game in the closing moments. And for the most part, I trust all of those guys to hit a shot if they need to and at least provide the necessary effort defensively. I don't think it's a great defensive closing lineup, but I do think that there's enough there to where you could probably get by.
I'm good with starting Malik. I'm good with starting Trey Lyles, but you can't start both. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I
would say so.
I'm not necessarily you can't start Malik. I just don't think you can start both of them. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we are talking Keegan Murray, and we are beginning our preview of the Hornets. Don't forget, 12:30, our guys will be in the building for the Kings Roundtable. Frankie Cardicelli and Brendan Nunes, Sactown Sports Kings Insiders. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out this week's episode of Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa, Wednesday from 8 to 9 on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
golftogocenter.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, 817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. So much to talk about. 30 more minutes until our Kings Roundtable. Get your calls ready as you have been. Get your texts ready. And if you're on the Sac chat, throw us some questions, comments, concerns as well. Speaking of concerns, I said something yesterday and want to follow up on it today about Kevin Huerter. And we read off Kevin Huerter's stats and how last season was a career year for Kevin Huerter. And this season is now, I think, his worst season since his either ever or since his rookie year. So the differences are so big that it's making it look worse, right? So we're asking the question, can the real Kevin Huerter please stand up? Was last season a flash in the pan, or can he get back to that? Somebody had got at me on X last night and they were saying he was on a heater before his injury, and I looked, and basically he had that stretch, those 4 games, I believe it was in November, where he went 17, 28, 20, 28, injured his finger, and I think he has eclipsed 20 once since then. But before that, I think his highest score was maybe 12 or 13 in those 5 to 7 games before the heater.
Yeah.
So all in all, I just went back to them and said, it's not as if he was cooking the whole time until his injury. Right. He was not cooking. Yeah. We all were really happy for him because he played well. And I think was it the Laker game at home?
Oh, yeah.
Where it was honestly, he hit a big 3 in overtime. It wasn't like he put up 20 points, but he just made a couple threes, which he hadn't been. He gets on the heater, he hurts his finger, and then kind of regresses back to what he's been. And last night I asked the question, and yesterday I asked the question, is it possible at 25 we're just finding out that in this ever-changing league that's getting longer, that's getting faster, that's getting stronger? I know Kevin Huerter isn't small by any stretch of the imagination, but he is a bit one-dimensional, and he might just not be a starter on a true contender.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely think so. I don't think he was. I'll have to look at the numbers in Atlanta. I don't believe he was a regular starter in Atlanta either. So it's definitely not out of the question to wonder, like, is this dude, especially if you're talking about on like you said, a contending team, is he a starter? I think that's a really fair question. I'm looking here. He started not every game in Atlanta, but he started most games, 59 of 75 his first year, 48 of 56 his second year, 49 of 69 his third year, and then 60 of 74 the year after. So even in Atlanta, it seems like he was mostly in it, but it wasn't out of the question to take him out pretty routinely. And
he was just hot last year, so there was no reason to take him out.
Never. Yeah, there was never a reason to take him out. And, I think when he's playing the worst he's played in his NBA career, pretty much. He's back to his rookie season averages when it comes to points per game. He's shooting lower from 3 than he ever has before. And yeah, his field goal percentage is about where it was when he first entered the league. It's a good question. It definitely makes you think, like, is this guy, is he more than just a shooter off the bench? I haven't seen him really develop in any other area to tell me that that's really all his role should be, which is a fine role. It's a useful role. I think every team needs a dude who can come off the bench and possibly get hot and play 20 minutes. But I don't know if Kevin Huerter is necessarily a long-term starter, at least right here, right now at the age of 25.
Yeah, I saw some names thrown out, and, nobody is trying to be disrespectful here, but we saw some names, and, the Heat always have somebody that gets hot on a run, and it's been a couple years. I believe it was the bubble when this guy was really going.
Oh, Duncan, yeah.
And I'm seeing the Duncan Robinson comparisons.
That's a good one too, because Duncan sucked last year. And
right.
You know what? He's right back to the Duncan Robinson he was before last year. So also with shooters in general, like,
but he doesn't
they're
start.
Up and down.
But Duncan doesn't start.
He doesn't. No, but he had before, even in
same
the playoffs.
Idea.
Right.
Same idea. So maybe it's just figuring out Duncan is 29. Right. So the bubble, when he was cooking, and I think he was still coming off the bench, but
he was, yeah.
The bubble season happens, so that would have made, 2020? So that would have made him about 26, okay?
Sounds
and then
right,
he balls out, so we could say very similar to Kevin. Now, the ball out year, then he starts, he messes with starting that next year, doesn't happen. It says, okay, I think you're better suited for this. And he's averaging 14 points this season, shooting 46% from the floor, which is, and this season from 3, he's shooting 42% from 3. Wow. So maybe it's one of those things where we talk about closers.
Yeah.
Maybe Kevin could be a really good relief pitcher to where it's, hey, you come in, you do your job. Yeah. You're getting the 3 lefties. You come in, you get the 3 righties, just get us a couple ground balls and you get out of here. And maybe we're just learning that, all right, we don't need you in that starting role, or it's maybe not best suited for you. And I don't know if that's just on the Kings or just in general.
Yeah, I think it's bad though, because Kev's not even giving them games where he's getting hot. Like, it's not even like he's having random, 3 for 4 games from 3 off the bench. But then you put him in the starting lineup, and he all of a sudden is ineffective. He's just not hitting shot. Like, he doesn't look like the guy that he's looked like before. And so that's the hard part, is he's not giving you anything to feel positive about. I mean, it feels like at the smallest shred of confidence coming back with Kevin, and then they just inserted him into the lineup and he goes 2 of 11. And so I don't know. I think right now it's clearly mental. Like, the dude is, he can put up shot. Like if he's missing this amount of shots on this volume, Kevin Huerter's a good enough shooter to have his numbers look normal. So to me, something's going on mentally, or at this point, it's gotten mental.
I think the
it's in
finger's
his head.
fine
It could be,
point.
yeah.
Or maybe it's not. I don't. Who knows?
I mean, he's whatever's happening, he is not the same guy that he was before, and it's. I think we have a large enough sample size to say, like, this isn't just a streak. This isn't just a fluke of a time. Like, I think he's shown enough to where, at least until, you feel confident, maybe, Mike Brown practices all the time. Maybe he gets hot in a practice or something. But until you tangibly see with your own eyes, Mike Brown, that Kevin Huerter seems to be into a rhythm, I don't think you can really play him more than 20 minutes on any night. I mean, he's got to earn all of his minutes at this point.
No, and, that's the kind of struggle with it. I'm curious, when is the last time, whether he was starting or not, when is the last game Kevin Huerter has made the first three he's taken? Because I feel like that's such a big thing with shooters.
Yeah, totally.
Making the first shot. And I feel like it's been a long time since that's happened. And whether that's Kevin Huerter, or whether that's your boy that you play with outside on Saturdays.
Totally.
Hey, if he gets that first one, he could be rolling all day. But if he doesn't, he struggles to find it. And I think that's what Kevin Huerter is. Unfortunately, to be completely honest with you, that's not an elite shooter, right? An elite shooter can get going at any point in time.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you can say that if somebody is a good player, or there's a specific skill set that they do that they're not doing, it doesn't mean that they can't do it, but it does mean that they're not doing it right now. Kevin Huerter is not an elite shooter right now.
Yep.
That doesn't mean he's not an elite shooter, period.
Yep.
But he's not an elite shooter
And
right
if he's
now.
not an elite shooter, then what is he giving you?
Effort. I saw a lot of people say, well, HB, at least Kevin Huerter was trying. And I get that.
Sure.
But
that's a step.
If that's a starter on a contender, that's a problem. That you need a guy. You got a guy out there who is starting because he's trying hard.
You got to give something else. And Mike Brown gave him crap for it last year. Like Mike Brown said, hey, Kev, is fine if you're not hitting every single game. Last year he was hitting more games than not. But if you're not hitting, need you to be hitting the glass. Need you to be pushing the ball and getting some assists. And we've seen it. If you look at Kevin's game logs, he has random games where he gets 6, 7, I think even up to 9 assists.
Yeah.
Rebounds, same thing. He'll have random 6, 7, 8, 9 rebound games, but it's not, again, much like HB, it's just not consistent enough. Like you need to be bringing that every day. And that's where when you say like, yeah, can you bring Trey into the starting lineup? Again, at least I know Trey Lyles does both of those things every night, whether it be rebounding or shooting. And if one's not happening, it's not going to affect the other. If his shot's not falling, Trey Lyles is still, last night, he was 1 of 3 from 3, still gets 8 rebounds. But if for whatever reason he's not crashing the glass, how many times have we seen Trey Lyles, his first game that he played this season, comes in, hits 3 threes in the fourth quarter? Like he's a dude who at the very least, you're going to get some level of impact from. And, if I'm Harrison Barnes, if I'm Kevin Huerter, you need a lot more of that. You need a lot more of doing something out there or else you're right. Like you were dead on yesterday to call HB a dull Swiss Army knife, because you can do a little bit of everything, but if you're doing a whole lot of nothing, you're not doing us any good.
No, you're not doing us any good. And that brings me to the other shooter on the team that can't seem to get on the floor. Is it time to talk, or have we not talked enough about, if you're not going to play this man, what is Sasha Vezenkov's trade value? Because if you're just refusing to play him, or if he's not good enough to get on the floor because he doesn't play defense. Oh, but by the way, we stink at defense, right? But he's still not good enough to get on the floor. So that's a name that I haven't heard, and we can bring it up in the Kings Roundtable a lot. What are we doing with Sasha?
I don't get it, bro. Because you say because that's the narrative around Sasha, he's bad at defense. Have you seen Sasha play defense and really said that was terrible?
No.
Whoa, can't play. Have you?
No,
I haven't either. And so I don't know what it is, because that's the default excuse is this guy's way too bad defensively to even throw out there. But every time we've seen him out there, it's been passable at the very least. Like you had him out there in that Warrior game. There's that picture of him, celebrating after Steph hits the final 3. You trusted him on defense enough that night to put him out there in the closing moments of a winning game. so you can't throw him out. I don't know. Maybe it's the shot selection they don't like, which is strange because the way Sasha pulls, you'd almost think the coaching staff has told him whenever you feel like shooting, go ahead. The cutting is there, which isn't there for everybody else. I don't know, because I completely agree. I think Sasha, every time he's been out there, he provides you with something. I'm not saying it's game changing. I'm not saying, we're down 50. Sasha's the reason why, if you just throw Sasha out there, maybe this game goes differently, but he's a guy who can give you something every single night. He's going to try his hardest. And he also has a history of doing this, of working his way up from the bench to a starting spot, to a star spot. It's what he's done. We can ask Brendan. He wrote an article about Sasha this summer where that's been his path. Every single place Sasha has gone, he went from complete obscurity to bench rotation to starter to star of the team. And, he's somebody who's used to this kind of grind. So I think he's the type of dude you put in, he might not ever come back out, like in terms of the rotation. And so I'm right there with you. I think if you're not playing him, you got to send him off, because I really think he can give value to somebody.
I need to see some type of practice film or something. I'm thinking off the top of my head, and I promise you, I'm not trying to be funny here. I can't even recall Sasha Vezenkov dribbling the basketball. And I don't think that's his fault.
I can't either.
I think that they have just pigeonholed him into only shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all he can do. Like I said, I'm not in practice. Maybe it's a mess. Okay.
Sure.
But I haven't seen this dude do anything. And you go out, you get him. That was essentially one of your bigger acquisitions
definitely.
over the course of the offseason. And it's a mess. If I'm Monty McNair, I'm having conversations, and we're not trying to start any beef or wonder what's going on. But that seems like a disconnect to me. We go out, we get this guy, and look, we got Campazzo as the current favorite for EuroLeague MVP. So do with that what you will. But this guy can't get on the floor.
No.
We're getting blown out in certain situations. And Kevin Herter is also unable to shoot right now and can't figure things out. But he can't get on the floor. It's interesting to me. It's a bit confusing. Let's get to a break. When we get back, Sam Amick, friend of the station, has some things to say about Pascal Siakam and what he planned on doing. And the Raptors head coach upset about the free throw disparity. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings look for revenge tonight in Charlotte.
Transition 3, Monk, heat check, score another one. Let the fun begin if Malik Monk can get it going.
The Kings battle the Hornets today at 4 on your home of the Kings, Sactown Sports.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, learn from the experts in fishing and hunting. On the weekend, visit the Giant Youth Fair. Free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Sac Chat is saying that Sasha can't dribble. Okay.
Oh.
There is a stat about Sasha and basically his number of shots without dribbling.
Sure.
In the EuroLeague, which, I mean, I'll be honest, when I'm watching the highlights, right, of Sasha when we were getting ready for the season, yeah, it's a lot of just him shooting because that's what he does.
Right.
So if he was just dead red and that quick release, nobody could get to him, okay, I get it. It's less about the fact that I think Sasha's going to cook people and more about the fact that we don't know because he can't get on the floor.
Yeah.
And your shooter role seems to be open. Is he that much worse of a dribbler than Kevin Huerter? I don't know, because again, I haven't seen it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like you don't see him attack the rim really much at all. And also, I wonder if, I mean, clearly if he doesn't feel comfortable, maybe there's a reason why, but I wonder if there's some playmaking capabilities to Sasha's game as well. And we just don't know. Because
Well, then it was a bad pickup then, right? Then it was a terrible pickup.
Why is that?
Well, because you can't get on the floor.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, he can't play defense. He can't dribble. He's just there to shoot.
Yeah.
Right? I guess my question is,
there could be a lot of politics involved too. Not necessarily like Mike Brown hates him or something, but there could just be guys in front of him. And, he could argue the Kings did the hard part of the recruiting. They got the kid in the building. Sometimes you make promises and you don't always live up to them. They got him here. So maybe they're figuring, there's some things we maybe, and this is just all assumption. Maybe there's some things that they want to figure out in the immediate, and they just kind of know Sasha's going to provide what Sasha provides. Let's see if we can figure other things out. That's a complete assumption guess, but
no. So essentially you're saying he's lower on the priority list.
Yes.
Moses Moody said something similar a couple days ago, where he essentially said, I think he used the word priority, where essentially the team is focused on other guys. And basically he was saying guys that they spent more money on or have more money.
Well, didn't we just kind of hear, I guess, the inverse of that yesterday from Bryce Simon about Marvin Bagley? He's like, every time I see Marvin play, I'm like, why does Marvin Bagley, by the way, the only DNP CD for the Pistons yesterday? Don't know what that was about. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if it is, they locked down Marvin last year or this offseason, and Bryce pretty much said, maybe there's a possibility of Marvin's already signed to this 3-year extension. James Wiseman, they have to make a decision on this year. They're playing Wiseman to get an answer on that. And they know they have Marvin for the next 2 years anyway. So maybe there could be a version of, they know they have Sasha in the building. They can figure some other things out while they just know, look, Sasha brings this every single day in practice. And who knows, maybe in practice, they view Sasha a lot higher. Maybe he's getting tons of rotation minutes. I don't know. I would believe though, that if they felt like Sasha could help a lot, they probably would be playing him.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I struggle with personally. I like to think that, okay, they probably know more than us, more than me. They'll forget more basketball tomorrow night or tonight than you'll ever know. But somebody I don't know, to your point, I don't know if it's a matter of quote unquote getting it wrong, or if they knew that this was probably going to be a possibility and maybe he'll surprise us, but we know what we're getting.
But on a night like last night, like he can't get, again, like when you all are searching, he can't even see the floor. That's crazy.
I don't know.
That's where you have some real legitimate beef.
I don't get it. We'll talk more about this when we start our roundtable. But Sam Amick basically released a piece, and essentially it was going off of what we had heard, the rumblings that we had heard. This is a quote. Siakam would not be excited if he were traded to Sacramento. He doesn't view the Kings as a good long-term fit if the Raptors choose to move him. So it's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, there's no need to try and pursue that. You don't need to risk any assets for a dude who's pretty much all but gone out himself and said, I don't want to play here. I think the writing's on the wall that this deal is just smashed. There's no reason to even if you can get a deal, I don't think that it's worth it if Pascal's just not going to resign. And if he already is sounding like he doesn't want to be here, then no, it was already, in my opinion, it wasn't a perfect fit. So if he's not going to be willing to make it work, then why even try? Go try and make some improvements on the edges or find another star that you feel like makes sense.
Yeah. So, I know Kings fans aren't happy about that. We'll talk more about it in a couple minutes here for the Kings roundtable, but wanted to get to this sound before the Kings roundtable from the Raptors coach last night, Darko Rajakovic, who was not happy, to put it lightly, with the officials. He had a lot to say about the free throw disparity. We've had this conversation before last season with the Lakers. Here he is talking about what happened.
Like I think they shot with 23 free throws in that fourth quarter. What did you
Thank you, Doug. That's outrageous. What happened tonight? This is completely BS. This is shame Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible is Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force, trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. And what's happening over here during whole season, I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap.
There it is. There it is. And I mean,
I would have liked to be in that media scrum, huh?
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm sitting here, man.
I'll be looking around like,
I'll be honest. I like drama. I like drama. I'm thinking I need something like that. I need something like that in my life. You know, kudos to Coach for backing up his guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scotty Barnes is going to be the face of this league.
I don't think
but
so.
I do
shout
know
out
this. Austin
rooting for it.
Reeves, I mean, that team plays with such little integrity.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. The head whipping.
Yeah.
You know I can't stand all that. And I just want to know how much the fine is going to be because he's going to get hit.
He's going to get fat.
That might be
the biggest or the biggest. He might get suspended. I don't know. He literally just said, "Do they have to win?" Like if y'all are going to we don't pretty much implying they gave them the win. Like there's some match fixing going on. Not now. Normally when coaches are going to complain about refs, it's about a call here or there. He's not. He fully insinuates the referees / the NBA is fixing games there. That's a third rail topic for the NBA. That's crazy. Shout out Darko. Now I don't know. He's definitely got to be in my top 5 favorite head coaches right now in the league.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people saying, I wish my coach rode for my players like that or our players like that.
That's special.
That is something else. I mean, I know
one.
Scotty Barnes is having a heck of a year and a come-out party in this third year, but I don't know if he's going to be. Stephen A. has responded to Darko saying, you're not – come on now. He's not going to be the face of the league, or not necessarily saying he's not, but there's other guys. Stephen A., Darko does not care about that.
No.
Okay, he does not care about that. He's riding for his guy, and if anything, whether you agree or disagree, at least he took a stand. And we can all sit there and say, Stephen A., you're supposed to be a basketball purist. You cannot tell me that between D'Lo, Austin Reeves, they play the most ridiculous, ugliest, just lack of integrity basketball in the league. They always have. LeBron got asked about it. LeBron said, well, they fouled and we didn't. Of course, LeBron was the same person crying on his knees last season. On his knees.
Literally.
Patrick Beverley bringing up a camera. Come on
Crazy.
now. I mean, I don't know what I expect LeBron to say there. But I'm glad somebody stuck up for it because a lot of times it does look bad. We got to get to a break. When we get back, it is time for the Kings Round Table. Frankie Cardicelli, Brendan Nunez, get your calls ready, get your Sack Chat ready, and get your text ready as well. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports brings you a doubleheader of NFL playoff action this Saturday. The playoffs begin in Houston as the upstart Texans host the Cleveland Browns.
That's it! The Browns are going to the playoffs!
Following Game 1, the Dolphins head to Arrowhead to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Coverage of Super Wildcard Weekend begins Saturday at 1 on Sactown Sports, your home for Super Bowl 58.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, You probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The world has changed a lot these last 2 years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
The PGA Club Fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Chat. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Guys, we started out the show talking about the group chat that we have together. And Frankie, I'm just going to be honest with you. I let everybody know that you were freaking out the most.
What, last night?
You were, yes.
I mean, I was definitely upset. I mean, not upset, but I mean, how can you watch what happened in that first quarter and not just be alarmed? I mean, we see the Kings come out in these games, and again, I don't want to just make this all negative off the bat. I mean, the Kings did turn it around. They had a very good finish to the game, as they should have against a team like the Detroit Pistons, but you see the Kings kind of have their guard down. They come in, they look very lethargic, and just down by 20 in the first quarter and letting the Detroit Pistons score nearly 50 points in the first. That's still a negative no matter how you slice it, no matter what the result is, I think. But yeah, I mean, very encouraging to see that they would turn it around and pick up the win. That's something we did not see in a couple of the games that they started off ugly against, like in Portland and New Orleans. They really had no answer, and last night they did. And is it going to be the same situation tonight in Charlotte? That's what I'm very interested to see happen. Can they come out and look strong in the opening in that game? We're going to see, but they have to at least come out with a little more urgency in the game like tonight, because last night was not it.
Which one is more important information for you guys? The fact that the Kings were down 20 to the Pistons, or the fact that they erased that 20-point lead and eventually snapped into it? Like, I mean, or is it some combination of both? I mean, it's obviously both things are really important for the context of that game, but it's more so which one are you choosing to focus on?
I'd take the 3 quarters over the one.
Yeah.
You know, like
Sure.
I just think it's a larger sample size in that game specifically of them playing well, like 47 points in that first quarter. They put up 45 in the second half. First quarter, 47 points for the Pistons on 19 of 25. The rest of the game, quarters 2 to 4, 63 points on 21 of 60. They made 7 threes out of 10 attempts in that first quarter. Rest of the game, 7 threes as well on 27 attempts. Like, and 20 points in the paint first quarter. Next 3, 26. 3 turnovers for the Pistons in that first quarter. 18 in the next 3. So I gravitate more towards just the larger sample size, really. Like those 3 quarters towards the end, I thought were good. I thought the Pistons were hitting some tough shots in that first quarter.
Yeah.
There were definitely some 2 easy ones as well. Like it's the points in the paints combined with the threes that I thought were really tough defensively, but I gravitate more towards the 3 quarters than the 1, really.
Are we okay just saying bad luck? Because
it's not just bad luck. It's that the team roster construction is bad on defense. So if they're not totally locked in and like dialed into all the details, they're going to get pushed around defensively.
Even against the Pistons.
Yeah, even against the Pistons, Jalen Duren was balling. Is that a little bit of, hey, with Sabonis, he's going to do his thing, but the other center might do their thing as well, and you just hope that the Kings do more of their thing, right? I mean, Jalen Duren did end up cooling off, but it was a lot of point paints there as well.
Yeah, I think that some of it was on Domas. Like nobody is blame-free in that first quarter, but a lot of times like Domas is getting engaged with a guard or forward that's driving in, and then that guy on the help side needs to come in and help out with that other big. So I typically think that with how much rotations go on in the Kings offense, like the big going off on the other team isn't typically Domas' fault necessarily.
Who was it?
I mean, often on the backside, I'd have to go back and watch, but like it's a Kevin Huerter, a Harrison Barnes, a Keegan Murray, like, Malik Monk sometimes falls into that, even though I think he had a couple good rotations later in that game. But those guys, I mean, I think that's last year, a lot of it was Malik and Kevin. Like those guys don't have great size, obviously not great defenders, and being locked in to come over and help on that big is a tough assignment for them. And they just have to be willing and engaged enough to do that consistently.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And, I think really asking that question, you would think, oh, well, Sabonis isn't great at defense either. And the team collectively isn't great on defense. Look, I don't want to speculate here. Okay. I don't mind speculating, but I'm not trying to speculate.
We know.
I'm not trying to speculate here, but do we think that De'Aaron Fox is okay?
I mean, they've brushed it off. De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown have both been dismissive of any notion that he's playing through an injury, and the injury reports have reflected that as well. He hasn't even been listed as questionable, or there's no injury designation that he's been labeled with over the past couple of games. And he looks a step slower, I think, on the floor. And obviously, when we've noticed when he's walking into the podium, and De'Aaron, to be fair, has always had kind of like I don't know if it's a limp or what, but he walks a little like he's very gingerly when he walks. He walks very careful, cautious. He had a really bad ankle sprain a couple of years ago. We always point out that De'Aaron has mentioned that it's probably not going to heal during his career. It's just something that he's going to deal with and have to monitor. People have ailments that plague them throughout their entire careers. He's someone that has to take care of his ankles, hence his shoes and the braces he wears with those shoes. I think that those shoes are actually develop for, I think Steph Curry helped develop them, right? They're for his ankles because he had ankle issues too at the beginning of his
Got
career.
the same braces too.
Crazy looking braces.
Crazy looking braces. And I think it's actually helped him a lot. And I think the fact that I think we kind of forget, or at least I had to remind myself that he had a pretty nasty ankle injury early in the season and came back pretty quick. I think he missed 5 games. So to my knowledge, and to Brendan as well, and I think anyone that's covering the team right now, De'Aaron Fox is healthy enough to take the floor, and that's pretty much all that matters right now. He's out there. Looks a little slow. I thought maybe in the back-to-back they try to get him a day just to give him a day because they're playing a lot of games and not many nights. I think they're playing 5 games over a 7-day period or 8-day period. And it'd be a good idea, I think, last night. But obviously, as we saw, down 20 in the first. And he came up big in the fourth. I think he had 10 of his points in the fourth. Looks like he's going to be, playing tonight as well.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, there was a couple games ago. I'm forgetting when it was. It was during the homestand, obviously, that Malik Monk.
That's what I was going to say, because that's when this all really kicked off. When it, in terms of people wondering, is it an injury, not just like poor play? You can go ahead.
Yeah, Malik said a couple games ago just that, like,
was that the
Magic?
De'Aaron,
I think it was the Magic,
something like around then,
because that would make sense because Malik struggled against Charlotte, and then I believe he said,
"Yep,
there's no way we
need to
to
pick
him
it
after
up."
the Charlotte game."
We'll get there. We'll
Podium
get there.
gate. Yeah. We're putting it away for now.
But he said something about De'Aaron, dealing with nicks and bruises, pretty much, and it was like, okay, that's interesting. And then from then on, you've kind of seen him just look I don't know if step slow is right, but just not quite as aggressive,
Yeah, it's like I don't even want to say energy, but yeah, it just feels like he's not attacking with the same ferocity or really with the same, just it's not happening as much.
Well, I mean,
is
and
what I think.
the numbers reflect it too. I mean, to kind of last 4 games, 17 points per game on 4.8 assists. He's shooting 38% from the field on 17.8 attempts, 31 from 3. Obviously last night got the 3-ball to fall again, 4 of 7 last night. I think he really did look the most like himself, I think, that we've seen in a little bit, 10 of 19 from the field. He had a strong finish, obviously. But yeah, no doubt we're not seeing those 35, 40-point games from him. But at the same time, the Kings are getting more from their supporting cast. Domantas Sabonis is playing incredible basketball right now. Keegan Murray, obviously, last night with 32 points. And then even guys like, not last night, Harrison Barnes played, I think, 10, 12 minutes last
13
night?
minutes, JTA. 42 seconds.
Yeah, but he stepped up a little bit too. Wait, what? How
13 minutes, 42 seconds.
You do the seconds.
JTA, so you know the second.
I know the second.
And JTA got him last night, huh?
14 minutes.
Well,
I don't know how many seconds.
Before that, Harrison Barnes had been a guy that was scoring more. He was getting a little more volume.
Yes, he's been playing better.
The point is the supporting cast was doing more, so Fox wasn't having to do as much. But last night was a game where the Kings really did need him late or someone to step up. Luckily, they got a bunch of guys that did a lot of things in the fourth. But the end result was a pretty normal game for Fox, but still not his usual self with that explosiveness.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the roundtable, what are the expectations tonight? Can the Kings finally win 2 games in a back-to-back? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
The new year is the perfect time to make some positive changes for your body and your health. If you've been enjoying a little too much food, too many sweets, and too much liquid cheer over the holidays, then you've probably put a lot of stress on your liver. A great way to show your liver some love and to detox your system is simply adding Active Liver to your daily routine. Active Liver is one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Active Liver is an easy and effective way to keep your liver healthy and functioning properly all year long. You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Yeah, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kings Roundtable. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Brandon Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. We out here. We in the building with Chris Watkins and Jay Johnson, of course, as we discuss. Before we get into the Sam Amick piece, let's talk Charlotte Hornets, okay? And how we expect, because Chris was not happy about the first quarter. I said, look, I was more on your side, Brendan. I'll take the 3 quarters, but I really want to see how they come out tonight, because you have a team that beat you on your home floor. Everybody knows that they weren't supposed to beat you. They're still missing their guys. They're still missing Gordon Hayward. They're still missing LaMelo Ball. It was a bad loss, okay? You had P.J. Washington. Terry Rozier went scary Terry on you. That pride that you showed the last 3 quarters, does that roll over? Because you got embarrassed by the Pelicans and you kept that embarrassment into the first quarter. Can you roll over the good vibes and the good juju and just have a normal game where you just take care of a team that is terrible? Can you do that?
It's $1 million question. I think you have to. I think when you're looking at the games that are coming up here, Philadelphia on Friday, where the Kings the Kings have lost 9 in a row since Philly. They have not won a game in Philadelphia in almost 7 years.
Jason was saying that there was a really bad stretch of losses with Milwaukee too.
Yeah, I haven't dug into that yet, but I can only imagine that they haven't. It feels like they haven't beat Milwaukee, and I think it's been like same thing, 7-8 years. I don't think they've beaten Milwaukee since Golden One Center opened for sure.
Boston's been tough too. It's just the top of the East.
Yeah, top of the East. So the Kings obviously tonight.
So they lose to good teams.
It's crazy.
Often.
The best teams.
Which is why tonight's important though. Like it's a back-to-back. Sure, and we all know what the Kings look like on back-to-backs. They're 1-4. Their point per game drops like 15 points.
Hold on. I don't even know if I want to say they're one. What do we do with that? You're saying you're calling them 1-4 on
back-to-backs?
On second nights.
They are. On second nights of back-to-backs.
All right, I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
They are.
But they lost the game before.
That's the record.
They lost the game before. I'm putting an asterisk.
It's with 0 rest.
4-1 on the first night. 1-4 on the second.
Rest
playing on 0 rest.
No, because you rested the game before and you were bad.
So you're saying them taking off the first game by getting beat bad doesn't count?
But they didn't rest. You know what I mean?
They didn't play.
Technically.
Okay.
The Kings are 1-4 on the second night of back. 1-3, right? 1-4.
Sure.
Yeah, 1-4.
Are you arguing? Are you arguing with just the stat itself?
No.
I know, that's what I was like. It's a
arguing
fact.
with it makes it sound like
It
they
doesn't
won
sound good.
both.
It does not sound good.
And the only one that they won is when they lost the first game.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying. I don't want to hear that. This is their first opportunity to win back-to-back games.
Oh, to sweep
Against the worst 2 teams in the league.
I'll take it.
And that's the point.
I told Chris, this game tonight to me is darn near more important than Philly and Boston, just because I want to see what you do.
The Hornets have lost 13 of their last 14 games.
That one?
I was going to say, we know what the win was, right?
See, man.
They haven't won since.
They have not won since.
Okay. Well, look, that again, it emphasizes how important it is, back-to-back or not. If you're having an upcoming stretch where you're playing, you have the 76ers, the Bucks, and then the Suns, next 3, I think you kind of have to get this win, get yourself in a good position to where you can afford to drop another game. And again, it is an interesting thing where the Kings are right now. They're in position to go 9 games over. They didn't go 9 games over last year until the end of February. And it just kind of shows how different things feel as far as, is this team as good as last year? Doesn't feel like it. I don't think they are as far as a numbers standpoint, but from a record standpoint where they are, they're in a good spot. But you need to take care of games like this. And the Kings so far, there's 0 reason on my end, at least. I have 0 confidence in them right now going into a game saying Kings are 100% going to win this game. And that's a problem. The fact that we've seen them go into games like Portland, go into games like Charlotte, and down the line, Atlanta, where they started by playing horrible, but they came back and won. Detroit, where they started horrible and to come back and win. They need to take care of these games where they're playing sub 500 teams. And in this case, a team with a winning percentage in the teens, like I think they're 15% of the time they win games. That's crazy. And in one of those games was against the Kings. So again, further emphasizes the point. You have to come out and take care of business, and people are going to take you seriously.
Do you want to specifically see, like, is it okay if the Kings don't come out tonight with 100% energy? Like, is it okay? I mean, you could still have a significant lead, but if the Kings don't feel like they are going full throttle to start this game, is that okay? Or is that is that part of the problem? You know, like I think a big issue with yesterday is the fact that they didn't bring the necessary attention to the start of that game. To me, it felt like they felt like, we're playing the Pistons without Cade. we can sleepwalk out there. And even if they do keep it close, at some point we can pull away. To me, that's a fundamental problem. You should try and attack especially the easy teams. If anything, I would want to approach it the opposite way and say, let's take care of business early so that we don't have to worry about the end result. Do the Kings have to come out strong to start the game tonight?
I mean, if a repeat of last night happened, I still don't think it'd be the worst, but it'd be tough, obviously, and I'm sure would lead to some wild conversations tomorrow from you two, and they'd be deserved. They'd be deserved, but I don't know. Honestly, if I had to make a prediction, I was thinking about this on the way in. I think they do great in the first half, and then probably like slip up a little bit in the third quarter. You know what I mean? The third quarter has been tough for this team before. They're going to have a big emphasis.
Wasn't great for them yesterday even.
Yeah, they're going to have a big emphasis. That's right. At the beginning of this game, I would assume after yesterday, and at some point, the Hornets are going to go on a run. That's going to probably happen throughout the course of this. And I'd bet it happens in that second half because there's such an emphasis, I'm guessing here, on the first after what happened in Detroit.
And the fact you already lost to this team as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
The numbers, though, the numbers are what I'm looking at. They're jarring. I mean, last time the Kings played the Hornets, they scored 104 points. Didn't score for the last 90 seconds.
21 turnovers, right?
21 turnovers. And the Hornets enter play tonight. They're ranked dead last in 3-point defense. They allow opponents to shoot 39.5%.
Sasha.
27th in defensive rating. They're 25th in opponent points per game. They allow 120 points per game. They held the Kings to 104. So I'm looking at the offense tonight. The offense looked great last night. But they can't come out and lay in their egg like they did against the Hornets last time.
No, they shouldn't. But I would say, to answer your question, as far as if they do, I don't know, maybe it was Chris's question. If they do what they did last night, I have absolutely no problem with it. Zero.
But couldn't you argue that that's a fundamental? Again, I feel like I use the word fundamental too much on this program. Isn't that signifying a problem with this team, though? If you can't come out and take care of business from the start against the worst teams in the NBA, again, you're just putting yourself behind the 8 ball. I don't understand how it's not a big ask. It's just saying come out with the right energy to start the game. I don't think it's that.
Where's your line, though? Is it to be
not getting down by 20
what I'm asking, though.
in the first quarter?
Is it okay to be losing? Is it okay to be down by 5?
I think it's just an effort thing. Effort, you can tell effort. And yesterday, to me, again, it was clear Domantas Sabonis brought the effort from the tip, and nobody else did. Yeah. And so to me, it's just, you don't have to knock down shots. Shots aren't always going to fall, but are they putting themselves in situations to hit open looks? And also, to Frankie's point of the Kings scored 104 freaking points. Sometimes you're not always going to have to win offensively. Sometimes you're going to have to stop people. And it should be easy. If you're going to stop anybody, stop the worst teams in the NBA. So try and win a game defensively. And if you hit shots, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Just try and hold the Hornets under 100 and you'll win the game.
The only reason I don't care how it happens is because they would be doing something that they haven't done before and winning both games of a back-to-back. If this was a normal situation where they played Tuesday, didn't play Wednesday, then played Thursday, I'd more so be in your camp. I want to see if they can actually do it. Because if they can't do it against the Pistons and the Hornets, they're not going to do it. And they can win the second game, as Frankie loves, and they can be 1-4.
What
is this? When they lose, wasn't it Charlotte? Wasn't it Charlotte that they lost to the first night?
It was.
Charlotte, Orlando, I think.
Charlotte, Orlando.
Come on.
Yeah. I'm on your side, Frank.
Yeah, come on, Frank.
Was I the only one highlighting the fact the Kings were 0-4, being with a 20-point differential?
We got to get to a break. When we get back, we have a texter that fits right into the Pascal Siakam, Sam Amick conversation. So we'll talk about that and winning the second game of a back-to-back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, you get the best of both worlds. First at 9:30, Super Wild Card Weekend continues as Mike Tomlin has his Steelers back in the postseason as they face Josh Allen and the 2-seed Buffalo Bills. Then we switch to the court as the Kings road trip continues to Milwaukee as Fox and Sabonis battle Giannis and Lillard at 4. The NFL and NBA Sunday on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
5 dealerships, 1 location. The Knight Group is now in Elk Grove with Elk Grove Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Elk Grove Subaru, Acura, Audi, and Volkswagen. If you're searching to service or shop for a new vehicle, Knight has it. Trucks, SUVs, sports cars, hybrids, EVs, you name it, Knight has it. Over 2,000 new and used vehicles to choose from, and the Knight Group makes it easy with expert financing, quick service, and a simple 2-step process to value your trade-in. So start and end your search at KnightHasIt.com. That's KnightHasIt.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a 2-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, Kings Roundtable. A couple more segments with the guys. Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. Shout out Jay Johnson, our producer, getting it done today. We have a text on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Honda text line. All guests and callers join us from Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to the 530 who says, what's up, guys? Now that Pascal seems to be completely off the board, how do you feel about looking to add 2 smaller pieces like a Finney-Smith plus a Tybalt?
Is that Brendan? Did Brendan?
Yeah, I was
text
gonna say
us?
this sounds like
somebody's been reading Brendan's pieces.
Are you just texting the text line? Come on
Come
now.
on,
Yeah,
if you want to
you
talk
were.
about something, just say it.
Yeah, you were quiet during the break.
I mean, I don't hate the idea, obviously. I mean, this is dependent on how you feel about your core trio. Obviously, if you feel like those 3 guys are good enough to be a 1, 2, 3 on a championship team, then I think that those type of guys makes sense. Finney-Smith really for me is kind of the one there. I think Tybalt would be a nice additional piece, but really Finney-Smith is kind of the difference maker in my mind between those two. And it's a significant upgrade over Harrison Barnes. I don't know if it's necessarily like your Aaron Gordon equivalent, but it could be. Like, I think Finney-Smith is a ridiculously good defender. He's shooting lights out from 3 throughout the course of the season. He's talked about as a great teammate. Like, Luka loved him. There's a lot of speculation that that's the guy Mark Cuban was crying about when he had to trade him. I don't know if you guys had ever seen that.
Wow.
Cuban said on a pod that he cried after he traded a player one time, and we don't know if that's Finney-Smith, but that was a lot of the speculation. There's a lot of players, so I could be wrong for saying that, but I don't know. I like it, but I've also kind of gotten talked into recently that maybe they need one guy a little bit higher caliber than that, if we're talking about them taking this next jump.
But that is the line. That's the same line that we keep going around and around in a circle with, because to get that person, now you're into me. To get anything better than Dorian Finney-Smith, you enter Keeganville.
Yeah.
And I don't want to enter Keeganville.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes, to your point. I mean, I wonder how much of this is just, Monty's going to go around and just say, look, I'm willing to part with, we assume, HB and Kevin Huerter. What's the best you can give us? Like, I don't know how you really approach it, because I think in order for this team, to Brendan's point, to go to another level, it does. I don't know. I think Dorian Finney-Smith could surprise you. I think there might be a little bit more than what he's been given, or even just the things that he does might go a long way. But I don't know. It feels like, to Alan's point, there is a cap on the kind of player that you can bring in while not being willing to move on from, really, I mean, the Kings' best assets. The Kings are trying to, in a way, pull off of what I've been calling a fantasy football trade. They keep trying to say, Kevin Huerter and HB aren't doing it for us. Can we trade for a player that is productive? And not a lot of people are going to line up to just take your trash, if you will.
And last night, you got JTA playing more minutes than HB. Am I reading too much into it to think that can't be good for tradability?
I mean, I think it's just a matter of who brings more on the defensive end. I think HB can do a lot more on the offensive end, obviously, than JTA. But I think as far as what the Kings needed, and at that time they really needed it badly because they're down by 20 points to Detroit, they needed defense. They needed versatility. And I feel like that's where I'm kind of at with what their moves and their thought process is going to be this deadline. I'm kind of backing off the big splash. I'd be surprised. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, but if they were to make a trade for like a Zach LaVine or bringing a guy like that, the Kings haven't linked to him before, but I'm kind of backing off the idea that they're going to go make that big move. I think Siakam sounds like they were very serious about it. Maybe even Masai and the Raptors, maybe they kind of were intrigued by the offer. And I think that the fact that Siakam had no intention of re-signing here threw a wrench into that. And obviously the fact that Toronto wanted Keegan or Malik Monk also had a problem with that. But I'm looking at guys like we were talking about off the air, like Alex Caruso. What could the Kings get for him? It sounds like there's an article out there from Hoops Hype that's linking the Kings to being interested to Alex Caruso. He's making $9 million this year and next year. That could be a guy. Matisse Thybulle, another guy who I feel like Monty McNair has been interested in for a while now. Since he came to Sacramento, the Kings have been intrigued about the possibility of getting Matisse Thybulle. I think when the Ben Simmons rumors were at their peak, it was like a Simmons and Thybulle deal. It was like the two of them. That was like the most rumored deal. But I'm kind of not really expecting a big splash. I think that move like Dorian Finney-Smith, Alex Caruso, Matisse Thybulle, they need guys that can bring you length and bring you defense. And I guess in Caruso's case, more just intensity on the defensive end, because the Kings, as we've seen, And hence why JTA was in over Harrison Barnes and things were getting bad last night. They don't have that many guys that can go out there and get you a stop.
No.
If Toronto comes back to the table and they say, look, guys, we really want to move Pascal. It's just looking like it's not going to happen. We will do Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter, no picks, no nothing. We just really don't think Pascal's going to re-sign here. We won't guarantee, there's going to be no guarantees. You've heard what Pascal has to say. Are you willing to do it? What is the, like, I mean, is this so you're a yes, it's not it doesn't matter. This guy's not re-signing with us, so we're not going to do it. Well, there is a line.
It's that he won't promise, but like you could try to convince him.
No,
you know
but
what I mean?
That's not what came out though. It wasn't that he won't promise. It was that he won't sign.
Yeah, but Weber said the same thing when he got traded here. That was 25 years ago. But I mean, you never know. When people play here, perceptions change anywhere. Any place you can be comfortable, you could maybe like it. Maybe he gels with Fox. It seems like him and Fox already have a relationship. You never know. It's definitely a gamble, though. It's a gamble.
And we don't know. Has there been any place that he said he will resign?
No, that's what I'm saying. Why is it
blanket
coming out that it
statement,
won't sign
right
with specifically Sacramento? I just think, look, I'm a vibes guy. I come in the building. I want the vibes right. I wake up in the morning. I need the vibes right. The vibes are already bad. I would take Dorian Finney and giving up Kevin and Harrison with somebody else with Dorian Finney before I let some dude in the building who, in this state of Sacramento growing, in this state of the Kings and the beam and how Sacramento has evolved over these last couple of years, you don't want to be here. And look, I have been on the other side of Sacramento in these last couple months that I've been here. I don't want that energy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want it.
I do think, though, that, like, he's also in a contract year, obviously.
Right.
And he's not going to go to a team and just sell. You know what I mean? He's not going to fold it in. Like, he's going to go out there and try to do everything he can. And, like, in my mind, there's a handful of potential reasons, but the two main ones are either that he doesn't think the team is good enough and you could get him in the building and prove him otherwise, potentially, or, you know, maybe he doesn't love the city and that could also get changed. He doesn't love the market. And there's also a chance that he just doesn't want to say he'll commit to anywhere.
Could it be the fact that he'd be like a third option here too, maybe? Because you have De'Aaron, you have Sabonis, you have Keegan's emerging. And if Pascal Siakam were to come here, I feel like the growth we're seeing from Keegan and the initiative we're seeing him take on offense probably takes a back seat and he probably goes back to being a spot up shooter and a dribble handoff threat. I think Siakam wants to, kind of like how we joke about the Kyle Kuzma, who another guy I guess the Kings could be kicking the tires on. We'll see. Kuzma was saying he wants to get his when he's playing. He wants to get his shots up. I think Siakam might be in the same thought process. He's an all-star. He's an all-NBA type guy. I don't know if it's fair to expect him to come into a situation and, okay, you're going to be behind Fox and Sabonis and maybe kind of a little bit ahead of Keegan Murray, but he'd be a kind of a third, fourth option. So I'm not sure.
Fact. No, what you're saying, because I mean, in that report today, it said Siakam expects to get the maximum.
Yeah.
And no ifs, ands, or buts about. And now, will he get it? I don't know. But to your point, what's that tell you about the caliber of player he thinks he is? He doesn't think he's a third option. He thinks he's a guy who's going to be a main contributor to a championship team.
And that goes along with Indy seeming to be the favorite.
Yeah.
Indiana seems to be the favorite right now, and that makes sense. You know, like
Well,
I
good
think
for
that,
him.
yeah, maybe if that's what you want.
I don't want to be the guy who's
ringer
paying
yesterday?
Pascal $50 million.
What was he, 34? Number 34
Yeah,
on
he
the
was
ringer
number
yesterday?
34. Yeah.
He doesn't even space the floor.
And he'll be 30 years old next year, by the way.
I do think he's a great fit in Sacramento.
I don't think it's a perfect fit. I really don't. I don't think it's a as good of a fit it's something that to me you have to make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
on top of this report,
with what?
With him,
like
I'm not gonna
factored
stay.
into the fit.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that. But like taking that out of it, I do think that he makes a lot of sense in Sacramento. Like I think the shooting can be a little bit overblown. I think he does a really good job of cutting if guys turn their head, or if he catches and a guy, you know, isn't closing out super hard. Obviously, he'll take one or two dribbles and get to the basket. Paint touches are huge for this team. He makes plays from there. He's a great passer.
I saw your thread.
Transition would be great, obviously. And defensively, even though he's not the guy that he used to be, he's a huge upgrade over Harrison Barnes defensively. And he's your backup five, probably.
Yeah, you can. That's what I was going to say. You can stagger him and Sabonis. But
just
go get Markkanen.
That's
I don't think he's available.
5
Probably
first-round
cost you
picks.
more.
Yeah.
I'd pay more for Markkanen, who is not on record saying that he hates Sacramento.
He never said he hated Sacramento.
Said he couldn't stand the beam.
He said, why do they keep the beam
It's
going?
an
If we're talking
overrated bridge.
Yeah.
Some people that
franchise of the year.
Love Sacramento. Zach LaVine was, I think, during COVID on a live stream and said, "Man, I love Sacramento. Like he loves shooting at Golden One Center." So that's another guy. Him and Anthony Edwards is never going to happen, but Zach LaVine did say he's interested in playing in Sacramento.
Anthony Edwards has said that Fire Wings are his favorite wings.
There you go.
Favorite
and
spot to go on the road.
And I heard they love crumble cookies. Chris, does the fact that Siakam comes out and says, "I want the max," does that change how you look at this? Were you surprised at the max piece of this? Because I know, look, obviously Pascal is better than Jeremy Grant, but I know you can't stand that contract.
Cannot stand that contract. Yeah, from the Sacramento perspective, absolutely. Because again, I don't think Pascal's even going to get that. But if he's going to hold out for as much money as possible, puts the Kings in a really weird situation where, I don't know how it affects how you could potentially or what you could sign Malik to. Keegan's somebody who's got to get paid eventually, and I still think to what I was telling Brendan there, like, I don't think you just bring in Pascal and then all of a sudden your team's complete. I still think that there's some more moves that need to happen. And I don't know how much, signing Pascal to a max contract, how much that would hamstring some other moves that you can make. So I don't know that when you say pay me max money and you're already 30 years old and there's already questions about how good of a player you can be or how good you can make a team just by being on it, it's going to give me some pause. Like, Pascal Siakam's on the Toronto Raptors right now. How are the Raptors doing in the East?
Yeah.
Not great. Not great. So if he's so good, if he's max worthy, man, make that team better.
So you said no to Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes. Straight up, you said no.
Really?
You said yes, Brendan.
I don't think yes.
I said no. Frankie,
I would do it. I think I'd be willing to roll the dice. And
I think that's enough. Yeah, I think it's a good enough talent to
no
risk
first.
No first, no nothing. Just those two for him. I think I would be willing to take that risk.
Just Toronto's running out of time.
Kevin coined the Beam team.
I think you could also wouldn't that would free up some money
what
because
I was
you
just
wouldn't
wondering.
have HB's contract and Kevin's, and you wouldn't be picking up Pascal.
You could renounce him.
Potentially would. Yeah, I'm not even 100% on that, but
I'm sure it wouldn't be like a full max
it
extension.
Might let you pay Malik a little more if he doesn't want to take the 19 or the 19 annually. So maybe.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation with the Sactown Sports Kings insiders. What do they expect to see from the Kings the rest of this road trip when they face the big boys back east? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-817-7142. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-817-7142 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142. 800-817-7142.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. One more segment with the Sactown Sports Kings insiders.
Oh, yeah.
Brendan Nunez and Frankie Cardicelli. So, guys, we've talked about this schedule. Obviously, we'll have you on next week as well to discuss how the Kings end up doing. By the way, Brendan Nunez and myself, and maybe Frankie and Chris will join. Chris has the post game, so he'll be possibly busy with that. But we will be back on X, hashtag, or also known as Twitter, during the halftime of the game tonight, hashtag Beam Spaces. Go check us out. Obviously, check out Chris on YouTube doing his thing at Sactown Sports YouTube channel for post game. So, guys, here it is. Hornets, the rest, so they're 1-0 right now. You got at Hornets, at Sixers, at Bucks, at Suns. So you have 4 more games. They are 1-0. What do they end at? And I'm so sad about the return of Hallie being no more. Hallie's not coming home. I'm very upset about that. January 18th when they play the Pacers. But on this homestand, they are 1-0 with 4 more games. Give me your predictions.
I mean, I'm going with 3-2, but I would not be surprised about 2-3. I'm just
including the Detroit game.
Yeah, like the whole 5-game trip. Because
Gotcha.
I mean, Phoenix is definitely kind of, I don't want to say in shambles, but they're playing very poorly right now. They do not look like they're a team that's capable of winning a championship, in my opinion. And the Kings, they've obviously matched up well against them before, but now they're going to face them with all 3 of their guys. That could be the swing game. I'm looking at that one, but I have no reason to be optimistic about Philadelphia and Milwaukee. I'm not sure how you guys feel, though.
Milwaukee's not playing well, so that's the only reason why I feel good. They don't really play the style of play that they've played in the past. They're like a lot more offensively minded. I'm looking now, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. So
They're on a back-to-back, too.
They're on a back-to-back. That's a great point. It's if Milwaukee, I feel like there's a good chance that they should be able to compete with them. Like Milwaukee's been pretty offensively centered this year, and I feel like the Kings they should be able to keep up with their offense. Stopping Giannis is always going to be the problem, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, you already know I have no faith in that Sixers game.
Yeah.
Either.
Are you 3-2 or 2-3? Or are you 3-2?
I think I'm 3-2.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of the Suns at all.
I'm thinking 3-2. Like, they beat Minnesota, they beat Denver, they beat OKC. I know they lost to Boston in pretty spectacular fashion, and they've lost to Minnesota in there as well. Like, we're talking about effort being the issue in some of these games. I think you're going to be pretty locked in for these ones.
Yeah, so I think that's where I'm headed, and I haven't left the Suns train yet because honestly, I'm afraid I'm going to leave it, and then they're going to get hot, and I'm not going to get to tell you guys, I told you. Don't leave.
Okay, well, to combat that, I'll say that as far as strength of schedule goes, Phoenix is number 2 in the NBA right now. They have the second hardest schedule in the NBA remaining. Kings, though, they're 5. They're 5th. But that's going to fluctuate because tonight you have Charlotte, then you have obviously Philly and Milwaukee. So the Kings could drop to the teens after this week. But, I mean, Phoenix, they got 2 against the Bucks. They have 1 against Philly, 2 more against OKC, 2 against Boston, 2 against Minnesota. They play the Kings 2 more times. They have a tough schedule coming up. But, I mean, looking at the standings right now, I mean, Phoenix is what? Are they 500 right now?
They're hovering around there. I think they might even be below. I think they might have just.
But let's not forget,
they're 19-18. They're 7.5 back of the top seed, obviously, but that's 3 games back of 3.5 back of the Kings in the 5 spot.
Okay, well, I can, I guess, change my stance to it being about the Suns fully figuring it out, and change it to they get hot for a game. They don't play defense. The Kings don't really play defense. And the Kings have already beat the Suns twice. They might have it coming to them. So I could actually see in this wacky world of the Kings that we're living in, Kings beat the Hornets. They actually get either the Sixers or the Bucks, and then they lose to the Suns. That would be mine.
Yeah, right.
I think they're 3-2, but I think
looking ahead to going back home. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It totally makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think they get one. I think to Chris's point, it could be. I lean more towards getting the Bucks, to be completely honest. I think Chris Middleton is a little bit confused as to, hey, what is my purpose here at this point? And you have Giannis being Giannis. The Sixers, I just think Philly is going to be up for that. It's national. Even though I'm trying to think back, Kings do play pretty well in national games. They beat the Lakers national. Right. They played the Warriors tough both times national. What other national games?
Pelicans in-season tournament.
That doesn't count.
That wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a blowout.
Alan likes to really throw asterisks on games.
Yeah, back-to-backs don't count.
That wasn't an original. That wasn't an in-season. That's why it was national. It's a little bit different.
Sure.
Normal.
Whatever makes you feel better, we're gonna go with at this point.
Is that it for the nationals?
Off the top.
Yeah,
of my
I know
head.
they have a ton laid out at the end of the year. I remember looking at their national TV schedule,
So
and
they're
coming crazy backloaded on the end of the schedule. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I see nationally televised game.
Bold call, by the way, by NBA to give them a lot of national TV games into the year.
Right.
Well, I think that's so that they could have a lot of
Flex them
time to
out.
change it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I read.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Last thing I got on Phoenix, because I just pulled this up. Durant, Beal, and Booker, 108 minutes together so far this year. So it feels pretty early to call it on the team.
Thank you.
120.7 offensive rating when they play together, 112 defense, 8 net rating. Like, that trio has not played that much together. They look fine offensively. Their defense is very questionable.
It's a lot of Chimezie Metu.
It's pretty tough. Yeah. Nurkic is a decent downgrade over Ayton, I think, in that aspect as well. Grayson Allen, not exactly a lockdown defender.
But he's been getting hot, though.
Oh, he's good.
He can shoot.
Yeah. I think he's really important for that team, actually. Those are the type of guys you need. He's their Kevin Herter.
What's up with Watanabe? Can we get him out here in Sacramento?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. That's your difference maker right there. Huh?
I mean,
go get your
I
goal.
watched him a lot in Brooklyn.
A lefty shooter?
I mean,
Sasha.
I watched him.
I know. I was going to say, I
Yeah.
feel like he's already Phoenix's version of Sasha right now.
Can't get off. He's probably getting more minutes than Sasha.
I would imagine so.
Real quick, before we get you guys out of here, me and Chris played with this a little bit. Sasha's trade value. Is it worth discussing? I mean, if he can't get off the bench?
I mean, he's probably just like salary
Yeah.
really at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that he has no value or anything, or is viewed as like a negative asset necessarily, but he's just still a big question mark. Like a team that needs shooting could probably talk themselves into it, like a Chicago, something like that could probably see how he's a valuable addition to a trade, but like he's pretty much just a throw-in at this point. And I think that $6 million is valuable for matching salaries.
Yeah, I think having Trey and Sasha both, I think we kind of in the offseason talked about would it be redundant, and I think we're kind of seeing it is a little bit. And Trey obviously can bring more to the table with his defense and athleticism, and that's not a knock on Sasha, who's a great shooter, probably the best shooter on the Kings from that standpoint. But the Kings need more than just shooting right now. They need someone who can play on both ends of the floor, and I think you guys were talking about it before, that preferable kind of closing lineup for the Kings we've seen is like Fox, Monk, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, and Sabonis. That's kind of the lineup. Sasha's kind of just doesn't have an avenue right now, but like Brendan said, I think his $6 million does kind of make it a very tradable contract. You can kind of get those numbers where you need to get them if it's a smaller deal. If you were to trade like Kevin Herter and Sasha, that gets you about 20 million or 22 million, I think, in combined salary. So I'm looking at that. I think personally he could benefit from a change of scenery just because I think that he isn't maximizing his potential or value here. I think he can go somewhere
29,
else.
as we talked about.
29 years old. We'll be 29 years old.
Break, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be the long-term fit, but I don't know if that means they're going to go into next year with him on the roster and figure it out, or if they're going to look into it this year. Because right now, obviously, we know the Kings probably should make some moves. I think they will make a couple moves, but we'll include him. I don't know.
Before we get out of here, real quick, I want to bring up something that Frankie put on Twitter yesterday, and it completely just threw my household into shambles. Is a sandwich acceptable to have for dinner? Yeah. If somebody just puts if someone tells me that I'm having a sandwich for dinner, Frank, I'm sorry. I saw the poll. It was overwhelming. It was like 93% yes, 7% no. I was part of that 7%. If you give me a sandwich, bro, that's not going to fill me up enough for dinner.
You just said it was 93% yes. You're clearly wrong here.
It's not about filling up, though. It's not about filling
dinner
up
is for
me.
It's not, but I should have phrased it a little better. It's not just a plain cold turkey sandwich on the table. Here you go. That's your dinner. There's a salad or a soup with it. Like that's what I would do. Like I would have like a club sandwich. And a
It
salad
just
or
doesn't
soup
get me
with it.
excited. If someone tells me I'm having soup or
a
sandwich for dinner, it's just not. It's not that I won't eat it and I'll be thrilled. It's
There's
fine.
so many
I just can't
combinations.
get excited.
It's
about
got to
it.
be warm.
We're talking like dinner.
That was the thing.
If I'm eating it after 6, it's got to be warm.
That was the argument. My friends and my girlfriend was like, it can't be a cold sandwich. I'm like, why not? Why can't it be a cold sandwich?
Come on, we got to grow up here.
If you can have it for lunch, I feel like you can have it for dinner.
I agree.
No.
If I can eat just ramen for dinner, I can eat a sandwich. I don't see
that's your life. I'm not going to
judge. That's what I'm saying.
I would,
just saying.
I'm more thinking like if you're preparing a dinner for your family, like I just feel like, maybe sandwich is a little bit more acceptable there than ramen.
That's a solo. You can pretty up the ramen. Though. You can put an egg in there, a boiled. All right, gotta get to it.
Whatever. We'll talk about this later. We're picking this up next week.
Hit up Frankie about the sandwiches. Also hit him up about all things Kings. Frankie Cardicelli, Brendan Nunez as well. Go check out their stuff on SactownSports.com. They always got it for you. Follow them on social media as well. 916 says depends if it's a sandwich or a manwich. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continue the conversation about the Kings, not sandwiches. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out this week's episode of Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa, Wednesday from 8 to 9 on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. The Napoleon P500 series gas grill will turn you into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about, and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Limitless. Call 800-926-7413. That's 800-926-7413. Free bottles for limited time, so call now. 800-926-7413. 800-926-7413.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
I think Frankie was ready, man. He had the numbers. Brendan, I don't know. I can't lie. I did notice Brendan was peeking over at this soccer game, so I don't know how locked in he 100% was to that round table. So, Frankie, I'm going to give him an A. Again, he had numbers ready. He gave us strength of schedule. He had his numbers prepared. So Frankie's getting an A. I'll give Brendan an A-. I'll give him an A-.
I saw something and it was on. I joined a Kings group on Facebook. I don't see anything.
Sorry to hear that.
I sent you one of the photos. I sent you one of their posts in there. So take it with a grain of salt if you want. But basically,
You're in the trenches.
No, I'm
Kings Facebook group.
I'm really about this life. But basically, they had given grades to every team.
No, I didn't see that.
They had given grades to every team up to this point in the season, and the Kings were given, from one of the NBA outlets, a B. This is before, the timing is weird with Facebook, but I assume it was fairly recent. They have been given a B.
Okay. And I assume that's relative to expectation as well. That feels right. Again, I think we point out all the time that they're a team that's successful. They have good quality wins on the board. Brendan listed them down. That's why he gets still an A, but it's a minus. He said they've beaten OKC. They've beaten the Denvers. They've beaten the T-Wolves. They've beaten the Lakers twice. They've got quality wins. And so it's not like these guys should be getting C's or D's or anything, but I think everyone who has watched this team for every game, the good and the bad, has seen that the bad is concerning. And you can't just shake off the bad because there is good. I think you got to read both and take from it what you will. And I think the bad has been alarming enough to really raise some legitimate concern. So, especially relative to expectation, a B sounds right. Like a B is still a successful grade, but it's definitely not overachieving or really excellent. So I think a B is great. I wouldn't even give them a B plus. I would say a B is perfect.
Yeah, I would say a B is right where they should be.
If room for improvement too.
Right. If they were in a position, if they were the 3 seed or whatever it is, and I know we just looked last week, they were around the 5th seed last season around this time before they had that run. So maybe, if they were in that 3 seed, especially in this West, maybe I would think differently, but I think they're right where they need to be in hopes that they do get to an A, which would be one of those top 3 seeds. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. In the Sac chat, they're talking about the 82 points in the paint.
Crazy.
Too legit is. Are we doing anything with that, or is it just that's the Pistons, man?
That's the Pistons. I mean, if anything, it's them recognizing we can make this game really easy for ourselves. Like, how many times have we talked about, too, their reliance on the 3-point shot? I mean, that's the opposite of it. It's the fact that the shots aren't going in or aren't going in enough. And they're recognizing, hey, instead of just living and dying with the three and just continuing to shoot that and shoot our way out of this slump, here's a novel concept. Let's try and get in the paint. Let's try and get some easy buckets. Let's feed Sabonis because he can't be stopped there. I think it's great. I think it's a sign that, the team recognized that you don't have to shoot from beyond the arc in order to get things back. Yeah, those points count too is perfect. And the fact that they scored 82 points and still in the paint and still ended up scoring 130 is crazy. To me, again, that's something that if I'm Mike Brown, I'm telling my team exactly what you just said. These points still count in the paint. And if we want to be an explosive offense, we can still be an explosive offense without only scoring from the perimeter. It's possible. People have done it for years. And I hope that yesterday is a learning lesson in tons of different avenues for this team, but definitely points in the paint is something that it's felt like they should take more advantage of this year.
Yeah. And we want to start the conversation here. Should we release the grounding of the dog segment?
I'm going to leave that one up to you. I feel like, 47 in the first. That's a lot of non-dog-like behavior.
They won by 21.
But the comeback does make me feel like maybe if we, if we're being lenient, maybe we can let them off the hook this one time.
Jay?
This one time.
The grounding is up. They can go out with their friends. It's time for the dog segment. Let's do
we're
dog
easy parents.
of the day.
Easy parents.
Let's
they were
go.
grounded for a day, man.
Let's go.
Come on, just a day.
Let's go. The dogs are back.
Man.
Sack chat, text line, get your dogs in. They are back. Now, if they don't do it tonight, they're grounded for about 2 weeks. But right now,
we're taking their phone.
Yes, you got it done. You got the W. Sack chat, YouTube chat, text line, give us your dogs. I'll start it off. I mean, it's hard to pick Sabonis after a game like that because he's been balling.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been hard on this guy, and because it's been a little bit cooled off, I'm gonna heat him up. Okay. And I think it's not a cop-out anymore because he's been a little cold. De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is my dog for tonight. Let's go.
I like it. That's how he's been, honestly.
That's how he's been. We need to level up a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go. Last time the Kings played the Hornets, Malik just pressed way too much. He took that terrible corner three where he took a turnaround right in front of their bench.
No, that was terrible.
Awful. Had 3 turnovers. He got benched. He played 5 minutes in the first half against the Hornets last time, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the Kings played bad in general that game when Malik plays poorly. Let's say Malik has a nice homecoming, if you will, to Charlotte. It's where he started his career. He's got some points to prove. We saw he clearly wants to send a message. Yes. Last time he didn't go about it the right way. I think this time there's a little bit more clarity on how to approach it correctly, and the Kings will need it. The Kings definitely need Malik to be on his A game, and I'm going to pick Malik as my dog for the game, the Monkyard dog. Come on.
916 says Sabonis is going to keep it rolling from the 209. It's got to be De'Aaron. He hasn't looked right. Jay, your first time with us in the dog segment. You got a dog for us?
Oh, man. Let's go this way. You went Domas, right?
Yeah.
Right off the cuff. He went Malik. That means I can't
No, I got De'Aaron.
I'm going to sneak one in. I'm going a little sneaky. He hadn't played the best, but he pops up when he needs to. I'm going with Keegan, the second-year guy.
Let's go.
Keegan's not much of a dog, but I think he's going to come in nice and smooth. Give me Keegan as a dog.
We got Keegan Murray. We got De'Aaron Fox. Okay.
What dog would Keegan be?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
You need a dog who's not really vicious.
Yeah.
But when it's time to protect the owner, he can jump out and get you.
He's got something to him.
Yeah.
And he's big. He's a big dog.
Right.
Yeah. And he's got to be kind of even keeled all the time.
Yes. You don't know if he's in a good mood or whatever the case is. So we got Keegan, we got Malik, we got De'Aaron Fox. Ernie Castillo on the Sack Chat says Fox needs a breakout game. Manny Too Legit saying maybe a big night for Malik. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will have Crosstalk, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit Abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville. Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find the best selection of boats, side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. And get to your next adventure in style. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 25 years or FolsomLakeKia.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. So I was watching local news last night, and there was a segment where we were talking about Dog of the Day, and you can still get your dogs in if you are just now joining us, dog, for tonight's game. And they were talking about the dumbest dog breeds according to science. So I have them.
Like actually like stupid dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I have them here.
Okay.
An Afghan hound.
Okay. Sure.
A Basenji. Is that how you pronounce that? Basenji.
Okay.
Never heard of that one.
Basenji. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Right?
Where can I get the origin, please?
Language of origin. A bulldog is the third dumbest dog.
Just in general. Wow.
Which one?
Yeah.
It just says
There's
bulldog.
English, American, right?
There's English, Old English, American,
I'm looking at
French.
a bulldog.
Really?
Right. I didn't even
Yeah.
think French.
A chow chow.
Oh, those things are scary.
Yeah, chow
Those
chow,
things are no
number
joke.
4. A borzoi is the 5th dumbest dog.
Gesundheit.
And number 6 on the dumbest dog list, a bloodhound is the dumbest dog. Which
Really?
is kind of surprising.
Really?
What's this list at?
Yeah.
It's from
Give me that
British-
list again.
It was, according to Professor Stanley Corn, a canine expert at the
Okay.
University of British Columbia in
What's he
Canada,
know?
the
That's the
Afghan
problem.
hound is the least intelligent breed of dog when it comes to understanding and obeying commands.
And who's number one? One more time.
Afghan hound.
Afghan.
Yeah.
See, that's weak criteria though, too, because it's following demands. Like some dogs might hear you, they're just like, I'm not doing it. And that doesn't
Yeah.
sound stupid to me. That sounds like a really smart dog.
Right. Yeah.
Nah.
So there you go. There you go.
I don't know
I'm gonna
about
chow.
that.
I'm looking at this chow chow. I'm thinking,
No,
respectfully, I'm not
bruh,
surprised.
they're cute dogs, but like those
Yeah.
things are
They get
no.
huge.
They're
and
huge.
they're like
They look
they
like a
have different
bear.
colored tongues and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm. No thanks. I hear those things are scary. They're very protective.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
And besides the dogs and the dumbest dogs and smartest dogs, we got to talk about the dog of the game last night, Domantas Sabonis, who is catching a little bit of flack. You talked a little bit about it from our guy Kevin O'Connor, waiting for him to respond to my
Still
DM
waiting.
of the Ringer, making fun of or poking fun at Domantas Sabonis being a part of it. Does it have a title yet? This
It does
Netflix
not.
thing, they just keep saying it's the quarterback, but it's basketball.
Yeah.
And do you have up the other
I do.
guys who are in this documentary?
Yeah, so this is all from Shams this morning. I think he actually announced it on Up and Adams this morning. Do we? No, we're good on Saturday.
Yeah, we got it.
We
we got it.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. The 5 players, I'll just read the tweet verbatim from Shams. Netflix is creating a new NBA documentary series modeled after its NFL quarterback show. The 5 players chosen for the first season for the project: LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, and Domantas Sabonis. You mentioned the Kevin O'Connor tweet. This is what Kevin O'Connor put. I actually don't know.
Well,
if
don't
he's trolling or not,
don't
but-
forget, Shams did not even mention Sabonis when he said it.
He didn't. Right.
Yeah.
In the initial audio on Up and Adams, he says the other 4, LeBron, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, doesn't mention Sabonis at all, which I think is more just Shams not thinking of the Sacramento Kings in that moment. He's thinking about the bigger names.
Right.
But Kevin O'Connor puts out here, I still, like I said, I can't tell if this is a troll or not, and especially off this first sentence here. Excuse me. Crazy to see the disrespect towards Domantas Sabonis on this app, KOC puts. Sabonis is an all-NBA center on a rising franchise, a nightly triple-double threat, the son of a Hall of Famer. Exactly one type of player the NBA should promote on a new show. all 5 players are strong choices.
Wow. Yeah, so he's obviously doing a little bit of trolling there, but hey, the names we just and the air that Sabonis is with right now is nothing to play with. He can make all the jokes that he wants. And they did the same thing, and if the level of stardom is the question, they did the same thing with the quarterback. They had Marcus Mariota, they had Kirk Cousins, and they just had less people.
Yeah.
And they had Patrick Mahomes. So I don't see a problem with it. And, you can poke fun, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see where certain guys are, what cities they're in, and their thought process. And it's already been filming, I believe you said. So we're going to see a background look, right, of after they lost to Portland, after they lost to Charlotte, and some of these games where they just didn't really show up. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, is there any moment or game in particular that you're more excited to see than anything else, or so far this season, anything that's happened that you just can't wait to see in that Netflix?
The in-season tournament
last night's
going
to be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
specifically to highlight Sabonis on last night, but in-season tournament will probably
against
be really cool.
Yeah,
that Warrior game, the Warrior comeback here at Golden One Center will be pretty cool to watch. But I think that's awesome. I mean, just the fact that the Kings are even involved in any capacity in that, I think is really cool. Because did you watch the quarterback show? It was great. Like the level of insight and what it can do for a guy's narrative too. I think that's the biggest thing for Sabonis. I mean, we saw this summer, I can tell you, Kirk Cousins has been slandered for years, rightfully so, maybe in some cases. But it felt like after this summer, after that quarterback documentary came out, tons of people had a newfound, at least respect for what Kirk Cousins brings and how much attention he gives to just showing up on Sunday. I wonder if a similar thing will happen with Sabonis, where, this dude is criticized left and right and, talked about how, the Kings are going to suffer in the postseason solely because of him. I wonder if after this, people have a new appreciation for the fact that, this dude's got 8 triple doubles in 18 games, in the last 18 games, or 19 straight double doubles. I just think that people are going to have a newfound appreciation for Sabonis after this.
Yeah, I think it's already happening. And it's weird. I mean, we focus on so much of the negative, and we do the same thing in all parts of life. But at the same time, you got to focus on the positive too. And Sabonis is still getting a little bit more, I guess, recognition. And I think that's going to continue. And what's also going to continue is your chance to win lift tickets to Sierra at Tahoe. Pull up, park, ski. Yep, it's that easy at Sierra at Tahoe. Sactown Sports has teamed up with Sierra at Tahoe this winter, and all you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number 2, because the Kings are going to get back-to-back wins for the first time to win a pair of lift tickets to experience Sierra Tahoe this weekend or this winter. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. It could be this weekend. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline for your chances. That's caller number 2. Back-to-back, Jack.
Come on.
That's what
it's got to be. It's got to be back tonight, right? They got to do it.
I think if it's not now, then they're just not going to be doing it at all.
It's just not going to happen. And at this point, I mean, we're at the point where beggars can't be choosers. And it would be easy to just kind of discount this back-to-back as one that doesn't carry the same weight because it is a Detroit-Charlotte. But we really aren't in a position to turn that down. So, it still does present the same issues that every other back-to-back presents. You still are playing on short rest, and the Kings did make it a little bit more difficult on themselves than what they probably had to, because they did play pretty much until the final whistle yesterday. There was no sitting your starters in the fourth quarter because you have a game the next night. So, in many ways, this still does bring all the same questions and fears that your typical back-to-back brings. It's just you might have a little bit more leeway to kind of, to give yourself some slack because you are playing against a pretty depleted Hornets team. And, you should, even much like last night, even if you do come out to a slow start or can't knock down shots, there'll probably be an opportunity for the game to open up for you at some point.
Yeah. And, we know where this offense is going to come from. Okay, it's going to come from Terry Rozier.
Yep.
It's going to come from Miles Bridges, right? And to a lesser degree, PJ Washington. So if anybody else, and really just stick to Bridges and Rozier, if anybody else beats you, if somebody beats you, not fine, but tip your cap, right? Because I think that was the worst part of the Charlotte loss. Yeah. It wasn't who he played for, guys, beating you. It was the two dudes.
Skylar Mays.
It was not a Skylar Mays beating you.
Dewop Reith.
Exactly. It was the two guys that you had to focus on, and they're just sitting there.
Yep.
They're just sitting there doing it anyway.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, so I think that was what was, you know, in my opinion, what made that worse, on top of the fact that if you can tip your cap and say, okay, these guys had it on a day they don't normally have it, which is where they were headed. Last night was different because you were hitting threes, but also the points in the paint with Jalen Duren. That's got to stop. But for the most part, it's, hey, you know, if Isaiah Livers is going to hit threes here, what are you going to do? Exactly. And ultimately, and Jaden Ivey was on a heater trying to prove why he should have been drafted and all these things, but ultimately it didn't end up being the case. So, you know, I just think you got to stick to your game plan, as Coach Mike Brown said, which they did in the Magic game. And if you can get through the Magic game where literally everybody was doing things that you're not used to them doing, that is how you kind of use that as a rule book and something to go back to in order to continue doing it. Got to get out of here. Drive guys are up next. Whitey is out, but you will have Mr. Draper, Kyle Draper, before the game starts, getting you ready for Hornets and Kings. Thank you to our guy, Jay Johnson, Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Finally, light the back-to-back beam. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
The Kings look for revenge tonight in Charlotte.
Transition 3, Monk, heat check, score another one. Let the fun begin.